10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3. The Fan. Got a lot to talk about today in the sports world, a lot to talk about in the local sports world as well. We got Aztecs football tomorrow at noon, getting ready to take on the Fresno State Bulldogs for the old oil can. We'll break that game down later on in the show, get you ready for a college football weekend. We'll talk more about high school football tonight. Got some big games throughout the county in San Diego. We will also be diving into the NFL this weekend with our NFL whip around. And of course, talking about the latest we have heard on the Padres managerial search. A lot of people asking if the Padres hired anybody yet. Nope, haven't seen anything. You'll be the first to know if the Padres announce a hiring of a manager. We had a couple of awards handed out. Machado and Jay Cronenworth named Silver Slugger finalists. Not winners yet, but finalists. And we'll talk more about the Padres in just a little bit. But you look at that story yesterday, and we're going to talk about it later on in the show. Got a lot of great guests today. Steve Lavin, the USD men's basketball head coach, will join us today at 10:35. Gives you a preview of USD basketball this season. I mean, college basketball in town is going to be good yet again. San Diego State basketball had their media days this week. USD basketball had their media days this week with the West Coast Conference and the Mountain West. And coming up later next week, Dave Velasquez will join us on Tuesday to talk Aztec basketball. It's college basketball time. Next Wednesday, USD and San Diego State will play each other in an exhibition game. Should be fun. So we'll have Steve Lavin on at 10:35. At 11 a.m., we will have Brett Siegel on. He's a national NBA insider. He will be talking about this scandal and what a big scandal it is. I mean, it involves the five families. And for anybody that doesn't know about the five families, that is the five Italian-American mafia crime families. They operate in New York City. They were organized in 1931 by Salvatore Maranzano following his victory at the Castellamarse War. He reorganized the Italian-American gangs in New York City. A bunch of different families named. But now, the Bonanno, the Colombo, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese families, all part of this five-family deal. I mean, if you think about how insane this is, not really insane, but the reality of the situation is, and it's funny, like Frank made a joke yesterday. He's like, we're back, baby. This is the Italians. But I'm going to tell you right now, the Sicilians and the Italians in the mob and the mafia, even though it's like they were very prominent in the 1920s and the 1930s, they're still around. Like, people just assume that they were not around anymore. They're still around. And it's funny, like, there's been a couple of situations where you hear stories about it, right? Like, I heard yesterday from some coaches that heard somebody talk at a coach's clinic. I won't say the guy's name, but heard somebody at a coach's clinic who knew the members of the five families. He was close to the five families. And he said, if you think that we don't have members of every professional team, either players or coaches, in professional sports and college sports, if you don't think that's true, I got beachfront property to sell you in Iowa. I mean, it was kind of an interesting thing, and that happened a couple of years ago. And so you hear that, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's kind of fun to say, I guess. But it might be, I mean, this might be the tip of the iceberg of what might actually be going on in professional sports. That's why this scandal is so big. I mean, most people, when they heard this news, were like, the Italian mob is still around? But the fact that they have a head coach in the NBA, a Hall of Famer, and Chauncey Billups being the face of this poker scheme, and then having guys like Terry Rozier being part of this, not necessarily shaving points, but this prop bet situation. I mean, This to me, and they even said it yesterday. The FBI said it yesterday. This is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just the tip of the iceberg. According to a report this morning, as this continues to get bigger and bigger, a report this morning, according to Yahoo Sports, former NBA star Kevin Garnett was among the former athletes who took part in a 2019 private poker game tied to individuals indicted in the DOJ's Operation Royal Flush per Pablo Torre. Now, whether or not he knew he was getting ripped off remains to be seen. I don't know. But all that says is he participated in some of these deals. According to Pablo Torre, updates what he had today 30 minutes ago. A number of former pro athletes played at private poker games organized by those indicted by the DOJ in Operation Royal Flush. One of them, according to multiple sources with direct knowledge of the game that took place in 2019, was Kevin Garnett. That doesn't mean Kevin Garnett knew about the cheating. All we know from this report is that guys like Kevin Garnett played in some of these poker games. I mean, I'm telling you, this is going to be a major scandal in professional sports. I mean, the NBA has to be sweating bullets right now. They just started up the season, and 2 to 3 days in, all of a sudden they got one of the biggest scandals in a long time that is potentially impacting the integrity of their sport. This is such a huge deal. Again, if this is just the tip of the iceberg and more players start getting found out, or more coaches or more people around the sport, the general public and the casual NBA fans are going to start going like, hey, is this like, what's the point of even watching these games? Are they all rigged? I don't think they are all rigged, but I tell you what, all of a sudden it starts raising a lot of questions. And as mentioned before, and I'll keep saying it, I don't think it's just the NBA, guys. This might be something that's going on in a lot of different sports. I mean, you're telling me that it's just the NBA? The FBI said in their press conference yesterday, this is just the beginning and the tip of the iceberg. This story is crazy. It's crazy and it's not crazy at the same time. Like, it's crazy to think in this, right now, and I forgot who put it out, but we have had a poker scandal. We have had a jewelry heist, and we have had point shaving, or should I say a sports gambling scandal, all happened this week. What year is it? 1920? Is it 1925? I mean, we knew this was probably, the rumors behind the scenes, right? And you've seen the signs. There was a lot of signs of interesting games, interesting contests. There was a lot of signs of people rumoring things, saying things were scripted and everything else like that. And now you got a lot of videos coming out from previous podcast episodes, previous highlights of just all of a sudden the context of the situation drastically changes. One of the videos I saw yesterday, we couldn't air it because there's a lot of cussing involved. It's from a podcast. But on a podcast, Matt Beckley, who is a professional poker player, this is from 2023. He's talking about Chauncey Billups and poker. And he goes on to explain, I wouldn't watch the clip. He talks about how some of his friends went and played in this thing. They went and played. Some of his poker friends went and played in this thing and just got their ass handed to them. And they I can't believe it. Matt, I can't believe this. They are so bad, yet they're winning all the time. And Matt kept telling him, bro, they're probably cheating. And he was like, they were doing these poker games in LA and they were doing them in Vegas. This was from 2023, this podcast. Talking about the poker scandal. You have the poker scandal going on. You have you should bet on these games because these guys are not going to play way before they end up playing. I mean, I would imagine that's probably happening all the time. The insider betting is different than like the illegal gambling, though, too. I mean, the illegal gambling makes this even worse. This is why the FBI is involved. But we're going to get more information out of Brett Siegel later on in the show. It is just such a fascinating story. And what makes it super fascinating, it's like you're watching a movie. Like everybody knows deep down, they're not surprised that this happened, but at the same time, it's just so fascinating that it's just unveiling itself live on television, on network news, with just more and more reports on Twitter. I mean, we live in a world where you just get information instantly, and this is almost like a trade deadline. You're just scrolling through, seeing who's going to have more stuff. Who's going to have more stuff? New York Post had this today. Take the New York Post for what it's worth. Mobsters ran rigged poker games at Kylie Jenner's Lux New York City pad while she still owned it. Is that what Gilbert Arenas got popped for? Like he was just providing the venue? I'd have to look into that. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, it was.
God, what a troll he was yesterday, huh? That guy was dancing on people's graves yesterday with his Instagram account and his Twitter account. I mean, this is just fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. But you start looking at the integrity of the game, and it's just like, oh, my God, people are going to start thinking about it. I can believe a little because, like, LeBron goes, I have no idea. I can believe that for a second. I mean, we didn't even talk about the Damon Jones thing. The Damon Jones thing is even worse because he played for so many different teams and knows so many people in the NBA. Who knows how much he passed the insider trading on things. Just a crazy, crazy story. And what people need to understand about the legalization of gambling, this is what has brought a lot of the stuff to life because a lot of these things are getting red flagged where before they would never get red flagged. And if you think this is just a new phenomenon, I'm going to sell you a beachfront property house in Iowa next to the people that were convinced that this was never happening ever. It's just finally coming about. I mean, we just got the Kevin Garnett news about him playing in some of these poker games. I don't know if he was some of the face of this. Doesn't sound like it is so far from Pablo Torre, but more information is going to come out. It's going to continue to come out, and we'll have more information on this coming up later at 11:35 at 11 a.m. with Brett Siegel. As this transpired throughout the day, Frank, what was your reaction? I mean, we talked about it ad nauseum on the show, but then more stuff came out last night, and it just continued to pile up and pile up and pile up, and you're just like waiting for the next shoe to drop.
It's an unbelievable story. It really is. And somebody who I used to work with in New York, Craig Carton, who, for better or for worse, has experience in this sort of field, also implicated Major League Baseball in this, saying, isn't it odd how this is a 3 to 4 year investigation on the NBA, and Shohei Ohtani's investigation lasted a day and a half? Like, doesn't that call into question some things? It's unbelievable how stupid some of these people can be. It's unbelievable the amount of trouble people are willing to get into over a couple of bucks, especially when they're used to making so much more. It's unreal to me.
I mean, how about the fact that Terry Rozier had already been investigated by the NBA?
Yes.
On January 30th of this year?
And allowed to continue to play,
yes,
while somebody else who was under investigation wasn't.
Of this year. Rozier of this year was under investigation by federal authorities in connection with a sports betting scandal over a 2023 game when he was with the Charlotte Hornets. High volume of bets were placed on the under of Rozier's performance, in which Rozier left the game with a foot injury after 9 minutes. Unlike the situation with Jonte Porter, who, by the way, was the beginning of this entire domino effect, the NBA allowed Rozier to continue playing with the Miami Heat since Rozier was not charged with any crimes or accused of any wrongdoing on his end. The NBA's got some explaining to do on the Terry Rozier situation. They investigated it themselves. They thought that Rozier didn't do anything wrong, or thought that what he did was not wrong.
They were complicit in what happened.
Right. And they said he could continue to play. And now, all of a sudden, on October 23rd, Rozier gets arrested along with Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups and former NBA player Damon Jones in connection to a much wider federal investigation into sports betting and gambling by various crime families, including the Five families.
And not just arrested by like county patrol. They're arrested by the Federal Bureau of Investigations.
The FBI showed up to the hotel that the Miami Heat were staying at because they were on the road at 6 a.m. and arrested Rozier. They did the same thing with Chauncey Billups at 6 a.m. at his place. The only reason why he wasn't in a hotel, because they were at home the night before. Both arrested the night after, the morning after. They both were in NBA games. Chauncey coaching and Rozier on the bench, coach's decision.
But this is something that Adam Silver really has to get out in front of, because you have now called into question, when everyone's already questioning it by the way the players play in these games. You're hearing it not just from fans, but from legends who used to play in the game, how much the game has changed, how boring this game is, how repetitive the game is now. You have now called into question for the second time in 20 years the integrity of your game. And this time it's way worse than Donaghy's situation. Donaghy's situation was bad, but this is so much worse to the scale of the involvement of the individuals and who these individuals are involved with. You have completely taken the legitimacy out of the NBA.
When we come back, Brian Windhurst was on Rich Eisen, and he had some damning things to say. And we're going to play that clip when we come back. We'll talk a little bit more about this. Steve Lavin's going to join us at 10:35, talk about USD basketball. Brett Siegel will join us at 11 a.m. to talk more about this situation. We'll get you updates for the Padres, if they have any, on the managerial search, any type of rumors that we might find. But we're just getting started here on a Friday morning on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. 10:25 on a Friday morning. Frank Marchese, Braden Surprenant. All guests on 97 through the Fan join us via the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Let's talk about this particular instance a little bit further. The scandal in the NBA, which might be, we'll see how much of a scandal it is for other sports. They said it's just the tip of the iceberg. Yesterday on the Rich Eisen show, there was a clip that I wanted to play from Brian Windhorst. He's been an NBA insider for a long time, works for ESPN at the same high school as LeBron. Take that for what it's worth. Here's the clip that I wanted to play from him knowing about this scandal about to happen.
Absolutely right, Rich. The NBA at some point is going to have to explain why Terry Rozier was allowed to keep playing. And I just want to point something out.
Mm-hmm.
The sports books caught the irregular betting on Terry Rozier the day it happened, the morning it happened, when all of a sudden there was hundreds of thousands of dollars coming in on Terry Rozier unders for a relatively meaningless game in March,
Mm-hmm.
involving the Charlotte Hornets. The sports books caught it. They told the NBA right away. And guess what? The NBA, Rozier didn't play the rest of the season. And he had faked the injury, so it wasn't because of the injury. The NBA pulled him. They pulled Jonte Porter too. They flagged Jonte Porter and pulled Jonte Porter. The NBA's measures, their protection measures, the sportsbook's protection measures triggered this. They caught it.
Uh-huh.
The issue I think is, Jonte Porter, they caught. Absolutely right, Rich.
How about that? They do have some explaining to do, Frank. How do you let this guy continue to play after the investigation that you guys did? And that raises more questions. That's why Craig Carton raised the questions about baseball. And this is a separate entity, and we're not going to assume anything, but it finds it. People are just asking questions, Frank. We're just asking questions.
And it's going to go to all sports because now, because of the NBA and the NBA's lack of action on this, and for how long it has gone down, forget about the off-the-court gambling stuff. Forget about the rigged poker games. Forget about that. We're talking about the on-the-court stuff, the insider trading, guys like Rozier doing what they did inside the game. You have called into question the integrity, not just of your sport, but every sport. And pointing out the Ohtani situation is one thing that you can look at for Major League Baseball. Looking at now any sort of questionable call, whether it be in the NHL or NFL now, is going to be looked at under this same lens. And people are going to make the joke, only half kidding. Oh, someone's got money on the game. Somebody's got money on the result. And you're seeing videos now coming out of older games, not like older games from like the 70s and 80s, but older games from like a couple of years ago of players discussing stuff on the bench as
that
scores.
Warriors clip the other night was
Warriors clip that John Boy
interesting
reposted.
to say the least.
I sent you one from a Boston Sports Talk guy in March about guys turning the ball over and shaving points and allowing buckets late. You've called into question now the integrity of every single sport by just blatantly participating in these stupid actions for money that is a fraction of what your overall contract is worth. It's stupid. It's pure stupidity all year long.
They talked about that inside the NBA last night, and some people talked.
Ernie Johnson bringing up a Terry Rozier stat.
That wasn't on him. I mean, that just happened to be the case. He was like, "I don't make this up."
That was just a funny coincidence.
But I mean, it goes along with the conversation, like when everybody watched like Michael Jordan's documentary. Because it got released during COVID, right? And so like people got to watch it, and so and there was not a lot going on, so everybody watched the Michael Jordan documentary. And that guy was a degenerate gambler.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was putting bets on the suitcases coming off of the plane and which one will come off first. And he said, I didn't have a gambling problem, I have a competition problem. And the gambling thing with a lot of these players is that thrill of like the extra competition, having more juice on the game. It's not about the money sometimes. And when I heard that, like I kind of understood a little bit more. And you know what? I mean, you could get into a situation where you are betting on these games, put a little bit more action on the games that you're playing, all these regular season games that don't mean anything. You get yourself in some gambling debt, and all of a sudden you have to start doing some of these things.
Yep.
So when you start looking at, like Terry Rozier's, and I don't know, we don't know the details of how he got involved with the five families, or how any of these gentlemen got involved with the five families.
If you dig enough of a hole, you're gonna find people.
Correct.
That's it. That's all there is to it. If you dig yourself into a deep enough hole, you're going to go into darker and darker places to try to find a way out of it, and that's how you do it.
But essentially, it's not that crazy that these guys that are highly competitive wanted a little bit more juice on the game for their competitiveness, and then got themselves in a situation that all of a sudden now they had to participate in some of these things. I mean, we just don't know. And who knows if you'll know the details of the next 6 to 12 months as an investigation goes on, as court cases go on. But there is it kind of brought to light a little bit to me on like, how can somebody make $26 million a year basically get close, and he's close to just throwing his life away for making a profit of tens of thousands of dollars? That's what people want to know the answers to. That's what people want to, those are the questions people are asking that they want to know the answers to. Is like, why would you even put yourself in this situation? And it's hard to find. Somebody asked what Warriors clip. It's when Peyton Jr. or Peyton the second. Is it Gary Payton the second?
Yeah.
He's freaking out on the bench in a 15-point game. Spreads 11.5. The Wizards, I think, hit a 3 to actually cover, and then all of a sudden they're like relaxed. The Warriors players are. I mean, Steph Curry's like covering his face, freaking out with like the last like 3 minutes of that game, or last 30 seconds of that game. It's crazy. It's an interesting story we're going to have to keep coming back to. We're going to take a break from that story and get you some college basketball. Aztecs have played a couple of exhibition games. USD has played a couple of exhibition games. They both have had their media days, and head coach of the USD Toreros, Steve Lavin, will join us next on the Braden Surprenant Show, preview the USD men's basketball season as we continue on a Friday. San Diego's number one sports station, 97 through the Fan. This hour on 97 to the Fans brought to you by Toyota of Poway, voted San Diego's #1 Toyota dealer by USA Today, with APRs as low as 0% and tons of new Toyotas on the ground. No tricks, only treats during the Trucktober sales event. Happening now only at Toyota of Poway or online at toyotaofpoway.com in the heart of San Diego. We are midway through the football season. It's at the end of October, which means only one thing. College basketball is right around the corner. We got 3 Division I college basketball programs here in San Diego: UCSD, San Diego State, and, of course, the University of San Diego. Our next guest joining us on the Braden Surprenant Show is the head coach of the USD men's basketball program. His name is Steve Lavin. Did wonderful things at UCLA, spent some time at St. John's, also was great on television and now is back coaching in college basketball. Now starting his, I think, third year already at USD, if I'm not mistaken. It's been there a couple of years now, and he joins us on the Braden Surprenant Show, getting you ready for a USD men's basketball season. Steve, thanks again for joining us today. We really appreciate it. What's going on? How's your Friday going?
Going well. We're actually preparing to play Cal State Dominguez Hills in a scrimmage today on campus at USD in our new basketball performance center. So it's a rescheduled game from last weekend, but they had some issues on Saturday getting down from Los Angeles with the travel, the situations in the freeways here in Southern California. So looking forward to playing them. And we just got back late last night from the West Coast Conference Media Day, and the young men in our program that we brought over there, Vuk and Diare and Wanse, all represented in a first-class manner. Really proud of them in terms of their poise and maturity that they demonstrated at Media Day.
Talking with Steve Lavin here on the Braden Surprenant Show, giving you a preview of the men's basketball season for the University of San Diego. So first kind of real tester, right, for your ball club tonight and a little bit of a scrimmage, get to play somebody else. What's it like to finally be able to scrimmage somebody else instead of just playing yourselves for the last couple of months?
Yeah, it's nice to be able to, turn those energies towards an opponent and also just to gain a sense of where we are. 14 new players, largest class in the history of the University of San Diego when it comes to the men's basketball program. It's a diverse class, and looking forward to seeing them against competition just in terms of the way we respond. We've also got San Diego State on the road this Wednesday, which will be another terrific test for us. And so it's about getting report cards you can come back to campus with or go back to work, in this case, after Cal State Dominguez Hills in preparation for San Diego State. And this is the revolutionary era that we're in college athletics. You've got to be able to pivot, make quick turns, adapt and adjust to the changing personnel, as well as just the landscape of college athletics and how you proceed accordingly in a strategic manner to position the program in a positive way.
How much of that? I mean, this is you spent some time obviously being a head basketball coach. You go to TV, and now you're back coaching college basketball in year 4 here at the University of San Diego. A lot of things have changed. I mean, for you, how much of it has been kind of a learning process to try to get up to speed with all the craziness that's going on in college athletics? And I know it's not just you; it's a lot of other coaches that have been coaching just as long as you have without taking any breaks. I mean, what's that been like in trying to adapt to what has been an ever-adapting college basketball landscape?
Yeah, that's the key, the word adapt. And I think in any industry, the key to longevity and the key to success or achievement is your ability to make adjustments and having a flexible enough approach, whether it's recruiting, whether it's fundraising, whether it's the trends or the rules in the game. And so we were aware of our situation. We took a more measured and conservative approach. That's Jim Harris and our trustees and our athletic director leadership. And I think it was a wise choice. But now, after 3 years, we've made the strategic adjustments. We're in alignment with the new basketball performance center, a $35 million state-of-the-art facility that obviously returns a great delivery for our student athletes in terms of their training. It's really centralized our training. And that's been important in recruiting when you're bringing in kids, as we have this year, from Power 4 conferences, a player from Colorado, a player that transferred from Wake Forest, among many other players, coast to coast, and even international players. The wow factor when they show up and see this state-of-the-art performance center and the difference it can make in their training and in their development. And then we have the funding now with the Olay Foundation, the NIL Collective, and the revenue share that the West Coast Conference and our university opted into. And so when you have the funding, the facility, and 14 new players, it does create that sense of a fresh start, a new beginning, what we call a relaunch of the Toreros basketball program. So we're in a good place, but you got to keep adjusting. We got a lot of work ahead of us in terms of this season and building the program moving forward.
How difficult is it to build a program, Steve, in this day and age when you got the transfer portal and you're trying to? Because the first year you guys brought in a lot of talented freshmen, and a lot of them left in the portal. I mean, it's hard to keep kids. You have to constantly looking around, and on top of that, you're in a town that's got two other Division I men's basketball programs. One that's been to a national championship in the recent 5 years that has a little bit more resources than you do. You got to compete with Gonzaga in your own conference at least for one more year. I mean, it's a very difficult task for you and your staff in terms of recruiting. How do you guys go about it, and just how much of a challenge has it been these last couple of years, and just trying to build and fill out a roster for USD men's basketball?
Well, we now have such a dramatically different situation because for the first time, starting 5 months ago, we got in space of the revenue share and the NIL and collective with the new facility opening. And those two elements, the funding and the facility, allow us to go out and secure a really strong group, and then the largest group that we've had in school history in terms of a recruiting class. And I think it's a good thing that UCSD is going to join our conference. The fact they're coming off a good season, it's a strong academic university. And I think they're going to be a real asset. And it's good when San Diego basketball on all levels, high school, school programs, junior college programs, schools like Point Loma, Cal State San Marcos, obviously San Diego State, and the run they've had over the past few decades. So bringing that shine or that love on basketball in San Diego and the great history and tradition of this area of California, I think is a good thing for all of us. Kind of that high tide rising all ships approach, and looking at it more from a lens of abundance as opposed to competition. And competition's a good thing. And hopefully we're going to be able to play San Diego State on an annual basis. I've got a good relationship with Coach Dutch. We go back to the Big Ten in the late 80s when he was at Michigan as an assistant under Bill Frieder. And of course, Steve Fisher was on that staff, and I was at Purdue with Gene Cady. So we have respect for one another, and our careers have kind of mirrored one another in many respects. So I think we're really in a good position, and that's why there's a sense of optimism.
Kind of lost Steve Lavin there for a second. Let's see if we can get him dialed up again on the phone. I'm gonna let Frank do that real quick. There's a couple things I want to ask Coach Lavin about the Toreros, obviously about this year's team, and then about the test against San Diego State. So hopefully we can get him up and running very shortly here. Sometimes it happens. The gremlins in the phones get us every once in a while. So we'll see if Frank's just going to give him a call back. There he is. And once I get the A-OK, we should be good to go. All right, let's get back to Steve. I was going to ask you, and Steve, thanks again for hanging on the line with us. Coach
Absolutely.
Lavin, let's meet your Toreros a little bit. I mean, obviously, a lot of changing faces. You brought in a lot of different new players. You mentioned a lot of players from the Power Four coming in. Who should USD Toreros fans be on the lookout for on this roster as they get ready to see them in action for the first time?
Yeah, more than one, individual player. It's the group collectively. We have terrific balance, the ability to shoot the ball from long distance. Wanse, who transferred from Ball State, but also has 2 years in this conference at Portland, is a terrific playmaker, shot maker from Argentina originally. 22 years old. He brings some experience. And Tyler Johnson, New York City guard who matriculated to Louisville and then transferred to us from Wake Forest. So 2 years of ACC experience under his belt. He's the quickest player I've coached in my career in terms of speed, both offensively and defensively. He's going to be a difference maker for us. He orchestrates offensively, both in transition and on the half court. And in terms of picking up full court pressure on the ball and being disruptive to opponents and getting the passing lanes, and of course, really active hands and quick feet. So he's a dynamic player, Tyler Johnson. Vuk is a big man from Serbia, 6'6", stout, has a game, similar to the Joker. He doesn't have the Joker's size, but in terms of the ability to shoot the ball from distance and play make, brings a ruggedness and really anchors us well. He enjoys getting his teammates open. He's an excellent passer, as well as the ability to shoot the ball from distance. Can put it on the floor and create off the dribble. Can take, smaller players inside and basket area to finish. But he really enjoys the playmaking element of the game. That's a theme with this team. They enjoy and take pride in passing the basketball, really sharing the ball, which leads to getting better looks, whether you're in the fast break or on the half court executing. Our overall depth, speed, quickness, and length will allow us to, extend defensively. I think we can kind of wear opponents down and play at a pace and use our depth to our advantage. Dominique Ford, the transfer from Southern Utah, is a dynamic veteran player, his fifth year of school, fifth year of college, and brings a real poise and maturity and can score in a variety of ways. Asan Diop, transfer from Colorado, 6'8", dynamic, 3-4 man. So we can go with some small lineups. We can also go with some bigger lineups and slug it out. Again, the versatility or the luxury to have personnel that's got versatility of size and length, skill and strength. But again, we haven't arrived. We got a lot of work in front of us, and there's time, but we need to obviously accelerate the learning curve and keep building cohesion with this group. But they're eager, as I've said before, they're hardworking. It's an earnest group, and they genuinely like each other, which is important, I think, with these quick turns and roster reconstructions that we're seeing more prevalently in college basketball because of the portal and just because of this revolutionary era that we're in the midst of.
Yeah, definitely revolutionary. And Coach Lavin, the last question I have for you, we've seen Bill Self talk about this, Kelvin Sampson, Matt Painter, some of the, high-profile coaches in the Power Four, with the rumors of like some G League players that are now eligible to play in college basketball. And they've all been asked the question of like the health of college basketball. You, a longtime college basketball advocate and obviously lover of the sport, how would you evaluate the health of college basketball in this new era?
Well, I think two things can be true at the same time. I think the game is going to continue to thrive. The popularity of the sport worldwide and in our country, every March Madness is an example of the game being healthy, right? It's one of the great sporting events, the NCAA tournament in the world, right? There's the World Cup, the World Series, the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, the Olympics. I love Little League World Series, but I put college basketball in March Madness right at the top. The Olympics is up there as well. But I do think we have to be mindful, again, back to, the metaphor, any industry, the leadership is going to be important. And protecting the things, making the strategic moves to protect the things that are special about this game. But I do think people adapt and adjust, whether it's conference realignment or even take other sports. When baseball went to the wild card, playoff format, there were a lot of advocates, a lot of people against it. You think of the designated hitter also in baseball. People adjust, the expansion of the NBA playoffs. I think, even the NCAA tournament, right? At one point only had 32 teams and now we're at, 60 plus and looking at expansion. So we are at a really critical crossroads. So it's going to take leadership from USA Basketball, from the NABC, from college, presidents, athletic directors, to really be mindful and thoughtful and have the right people at the table, including student athletes, so that we get this right moving forward. And I think, like any revolutionary period, not comparing college athletics revolution to the French Revolution or civil rights or women's suffrage, but, it is a time of, transformational change. And the pendulum has swung kind of one way. I think it's going to correct itself, like a lot of industries do. We see it in the markets in terms of the economy. And I think there will be a correction here over the next couple of years. But we just got to buckle up and navigate through in the meantime and really focus and amplify on the great elements that are still there in college athletics.
Coach Lavin, I appreciate the time. Thanks again for sticking with us when our phone lines went down a little bit, and look forward to talking to you again very soon. I'll be there sitting courtside for most of the home games, so looking forward to seeing you guys in action this year.
Love it, Braden. Always enjoy listening to you cover sports here in San Diego, and love your show. So we'll do it again.
I appreciate it, Coach Lavin. Steve Lavin joining us on the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fans. Going to be fun watching USD basketball this year, Aztec basketball, UCSD men's basketball. Coach Lavin said it right. It was the health of local San Diego basketball, very high, pretty great. So appreciate that from Coach Lavin. When we come back from college basketball back to the NBA, talking with Brett Siegel to try to figure out what is going on. Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego Sports Station. 11 a.m. on the Braden Surprenant Show. Live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Again, big thanks to Steve Lavin, Coach Lav, joining us on the Braden Surprenant Show in the last segment, talking about USD men's basketball. They will have a scrimmage tonight, this afternoon, this evening, against Cal State Dominguez Hills, and they'll be back in action next Wednesday against San Diego State, another exhibition game for two local teams in town. Coach Lavin joined us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline, and joining us now on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline is Brett Siegel. He's a national basketball NBA insider joining us here on the Braden Surprenant Show. All guests on 97.3 The Fan join us via the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Brett, long time no talk. I was trying to get you on the show anyway to start the NBA season because it just got underway and a lot of good basketball has already been played, multiple double overtime games, but obviously a big bombshell dropped a couple of games into the season. What is the latest on everything going on in the NBA right now as we try to figure out the findings from the FBI?
Hey, Braden. Well, everything is very up in the air. No one really knows what's going to happen here. No one knows who's next. And I think that that's kind of the biggest question of the initial dominoes have fallen. And this is just kind of the peak of the iceberg. There's a lot more to this scandal that the FBI is investigating. You have the Terry Rozier aspect of betting on games and sitting out and having people bet on certain props that they would profit on immediately with prior knowledge, knowing that he was going to be out of the game. You had Jonte Porter immediately banned from the league last year for a similar scandal. So how far does this go? Are there more parties involved? Are there more players? Are there more coaches involved? And then obviously you have Chauncey Billups, who's being accused of doing that underground poker ring with mafia members and the mob. It's just a complete mess with everything coming out the start of the NBA season. And it overshadows what has been a terrific 2 or 3 days in the league. And quite honestly, I think this has been one of the best opening few nights that the NBA has seen in recent memory. Just the amount of talent and the amount of amazing performances that have been record breaking that we've seen to this point. So it's unfortunate that it comes out now. It's good that we are getting clarity on this matter, because if this kind of stuff is happening in the game, it needs to be addressed immediately. And people that have been accused of this wrongdoing, if they are found guilty of these allegations, then they have no right being in the game. So it's kind of good and bad that this is happening now, but there's a lot more that's going to play out over the course of the next year.
Let's break this thing up in a couple of different segments, if you will. I mean, Terry Rozier and Damon Jones seem to be on one side of this, and then, of course, Chauncey Billups on the other side with the poker situation. There's a lot of similarities between him and co-conspirator number 8, so he might have a little bit to do with that as well from the FBI indictment. But let's talk about Terry Rozier and Damon Jones, starting with Terry Rozier. How is the NBA as of right now, because he got red flagged in January of this year, if I'm not mistaken, for doing something very similar to this or another situation, and the NBA cleared him to go back to play. What was that situation like, and how does this new information and this, arrest impact what the NBA basically said he was cleared to play after their initial investigation in January? This seems kind of sticky for the NBA right now.
Well, there's a lot of moving parts to this, and there's many ways to address this topic. The first that I'd like to point out is that at the start of every season, in the off season, the NBA has very strict guidelines, especially nowadays with all the betting that's involved in sports. They have very strict guidelines that they send out to every single team personnel member, every team, the executives, the players. They all know these rules. They know what they are and are not allowed to do. They know what they are and are not allowed to talk about pertaining to betting and player availability and whatnot. So anybody who says, oh, well, they didn't know the rules or whatever, that's just completely out of the question. They know exactly what they were doing wrong. So now when you look at Terry Rozier and this investigation that's been going on from the NBA, yes, he was under investigation by the NBA, and they followed every single guideline that they could have. They seized his phone. They talked to some people that were close to the matter that were within reason of their scope of reason for this investigation. And that's pretty much as far as the NBA can go. They're not the federal authorities. They're not police or the FBI. They can't necessarily go in and take files that weren't supplied to them or that are in connection of any messages or phone calls that they saw from Terry Rozier's phone. That's about as much as they could do. And with the NBA's investigation, as they went through that for months, they came back and they didn't find any wrongdoing on their part of Terry Rozier, the Miami Heat, the Charlotte Hornets, and that's really when it is of his time with the Hornets, I believe was the 2023 season. So the NBA, they can't really do anything else. So at that point, he's cleared from their investigation. He can come back to playing. But at that point, when the NBA said so, the FBI were still investigating Terry Rozier. He was not in the clear at all during that. And as we saw yesterday with the FBI and what they came out and said, this was a multi-year thing that they've been looking into. It took a lot of moving pieces, a lot of parts, and there was that overlap with people like Damon Jones and others who are involved in both of these scandals that wound up connecting more pieces for the FBI. So there's still a lot more that needs to come out, but from the NBA's perspective, everything that we've been made aware of and that they have told us is that they followed the proper procedures. It does look that way, that they followed everything within their guidelines to do so. So when there's suggestion of, oh, well, they may have dropped the ball on this or they didn't do it right with Terry Rozier, they're trying to cover up. I don't necessarily know if that's the case. Maybe there's something there that the FBI will find, but I highly doubt it. The NBA has very strict guidelines that they follow. They have their own investigators and people that handle this matter, and they've done a great job through the years of handling stuff like this.
We're talking with Brett Siegel, who is an NBA insider, joining us on the Braden Surprenant show. So, Terry Rozier is the situation with the prop bets and, telling, the story, at least in the indictment, he told people to bet the unders for him during a game. He was going to leave said game. And then all of a sudden, all the unders hit. They spent like $200,000 on this. They made tens of thousands of dollars. And then they went back to Rozier's house and then collected all the money. People want to ask the question, like, why would somebody making $26 million a year go out there and risk everything for potentially tens of thousands of dollars? This seems to be a very, crazy story to a lot of people. But, from your perspective, I mean, why would somebody like Terry Rozier do this? Obviously, that's more of a question for him. But just, from your knowledge around the league, it seems like it seems kind of crazy to think that Terry Rozier would do something like that.
And I really don't have an answer for you of why somebody would do that. In my opinion, I think that it's very dumb for somebody that is making $26 million and has had a multi-year career like him and lined up possibly for more money on another contract once he becomes a free agent to do something like this for just an extra $500,000. I mean, that's not money that he needs. He has all the money that he needs between endorsement deals and a contract in the NBA and just his legacy moving forward. And then all of a sudden this comes out just because you're trying to make a couple extra bucks on the side. For people like you or me, it would almost be like finding a $10 bill on the street. That's what $500,000 to these people is. So it's foolish. It's stupid. I don't understand it if all of it is true and Terry Rozier is guilty of this, but there's still a lot of time, a lot of stuff that needs to play out until we can definitely say he's guilty. But right now, with all this information, it just does not look like a good look for him.
Let's talk about Damon Jones a little bit. I mean, a lot of people have been saying that this might be the biggest problem for the NBA because of how many teams he played on, how connected he is to a lot of big-time players. And it doesn't seem like a lot of the players, at least the ones who he got the information, of, knew about what he was using said information with, but they went from Terry Rozier, who was doing it on the court, to Damon Jones now supplying information and some insider trading that nobody else in the public would know. His situation slightly different, but he is very connected in the NBA, and that's why this situation is even scary too. What is the Damon Jones situation as part of this indictment?
Yeah, The Athletic had a great report about it, of Damon Jones giving information about the Lakers players being out against the Milwaukee Bucks. I believe it was a 2023-24 game. I don't know the exact date of that one, of their reporting there, but The Athletic came out with a great piece talking about how he gave out insider information that LeBron was going to be out, other players are going to be out, and told people to basically take the Milwaukee Bucks who were playing the Lakers that night. The funny thing about it the Milwaukee Bucks went on to lose and the Lakers won. And that's where I think that you can have a little bit of a chuckle about this, even though it is still illegal activity, is the fact that these people that he told to bet on the Lakers to lose, well, the Lakers won and they were demanding money back from him. So that's just one side of stuff that he's being accused of there. But it's just a mess. And there's even more documents that have come out, and one of which, and I know you mentioned it earlier, kind of throws Chauncey Billups in this as well of, well, did he potentially give out information that Trailblazers players weren't going to be playing in a game, and then they didn't, and it seemed like that they were in quotes tanking during that game, resulting in the other team winning by 20 or 30 points. So this is stuff that the FBI is all going to look more into. They're going to be subpoenaing people throughout the next few months. They're going to be getting more information both from the NBA and these teams respectively. And like I said, it's just the tip of the iceberg. We just have very minimal information right now, even though it's very detailed. And until we get more information and we hear from more of these sources and more people that talk with the FBI and are willing to cooperate, right now this is kind of all that we're dealing with, and we have to take it with a grain of salt.
Let's talk about the Chauncey Billups situation. So Chauncey Billups is, again, there's some things that line up that could be Chauncey Billups as co-conspirator number 8, but it's still mentioned as co-conspirator number 8 and not his name. So people can make whatever type of connections that they want. But what he is being listed as and indicted for is this poker scheme that involves the 5 families, Italian mob. And this is a mess in itself that is completely separate from games in the NBA. What can you tell us about this poker ring that Chauncey Billups got himself a part of?
It's wild. I mean, you're talking about having x-ray tables where they could see the cards. You have special glasses that are able to, I guess, blacklight and see through the cards to know what they have. You had these fake card shufflers and dealers that when the card was given out, would basically send a signal, and this is coming from the FBI documents, to somebody that wasn't in the room, and they labeling them as the quarterback, who would then give information back to somebody else in the room, so they would know exactly who had the best odds of winning a hand or stuff like that. It's quite interesting to think about, because this is almost seems like a movie script in a way, something that you would see in a giant heist movie or an Ocean's 11 type situation. And now it's real life, and we're actually talking about this being a real scandal with real figureheads in the NBA, and it could be even more people than we even realize. So it's a mess. Chauncey Billups, you're looking at him missing the whole season. I just don't see a scenario in which he gets cleared of this within the next 6 months. And more so, I don't see a situation where the NBA just lets him come back without any kind of penalties here. So his career is definitely on the line, and whether or not his legacy will be impacted, that's the big question. Will he face more charges from the FBI? Will he face jail time if he's found guilty of this? What kind of ramifications does this have on his playing career? Will he remain in the Hall of Fame? I think these are all very relevant topics to kind of discuss right now. But again, until we have more information on this, and until he's actually convicted of anything, it's hard to come to a conclusion on what this is going to look like. But Tiago Splitter is the interim head coach of the Portland Trailblazers right now, and I foresee him being the coach for the remainder of the 25-26 season.
We're talking with NBA insider Brett Siegel here on the Braden Surprenant Show, breaking down the scandal that came out yesterday involving players and coaches, former players and coaches of the NBA, in a mob story, as Brett said, is a perfect script written for Hollywood at this point in time. So what do you think is the next step for the NBA? They just started their season. They're going to try to, obviously get in front of this as much as they possibly can. But as more names might trickle out, what do you think the aftermath of this is, and how do you think the NBA will respond?
Well, the NBA has responded very clearly to the FBI that they are fully cooperating and they are willing to do whatever it takes to make things right on this topic. And not necessarily because they've done any wrongdoing. It's just they want all the right information to come out as well. And they also want to be on the right end of this, because this has been happening in their league behind their backs without them knowing. So they want to be able to get to the bottom of it. They want to be able to get the information that they need, and they're going to fully cooperate with the FBI's investigation here. And that's basically the word from the NBA. I wouldn't say that there's genuine worry around the league office, but from the people that I've spoken with over the last 48 hours, it's just there's genuine concern about what this means for the state of the league moving forward, because nobody knows what other players are involved, if there are other players involved, and if there's any coaches or anybody high up in the league office. So all this information is going to be coming out over the course of the next year and heading into 2026. And really, until we know what this next step looks like, and until more information comes out, it's just kind of the wait and see type of game right now.
Well, tonight, we'll see if there's any. I mean, how do you think the Trailblazers are going to be able to handle this? Have they canceled media availability again today? They got a game against the Warriors tonight.
It's going to be interesting. I think that there's going to be obviously response from the fans, but when you're a player in this league, you have an obligation, and they do have a nice blend of young and veteran players, guys like Drew Holiday, Robert Williams III, Damian Lillard. They're going to be able to talk with this locker room. I'm sure that they've already had a players only kind of chat about what they can talk about, what they're not going to talk about, what the mentality is. So I have no doubt that they're going to come out and just kind of play basketball as they normally do. But yeah, I think this is definitely going to take a toll on them over the course of the season, because you worked all off season long with Chauncey Billups. You have a lot of hype coming into this year after the way that you finished the 24-25 season, and now you're without your head coach. You're kind of lost in a sense of what the future is going to look like, and you're just going out and playing basketball. So what's that going to look like for them as far as their potential playoff path? Do they still have a chance? We'll see what they look like over the course of the next few weeks. But I think it's definitely going to take some time for them to get used to this. And there's going to be a steep learning curve for this group now, given that all the assistant coaches now have more responsibility. They can't focus on what they were supposed to do with Chauncey Billups there.
Just a fascinating story. And Brett, we appreciate the time. I know you've been probably busy as all get out, but hopefully next time when you come on, we actually get to talk about a little bit more of the basketball as opposed to some of the scandals, because there's been a lot of great basketball to start the season. But Brett, I appreciate the time. I know you're a busy man. Thanks again. I look forward to talking to you again.
Sounds good. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Brett Siegel, NBA insider, joining us on the Braden Surprenant Show. Standing as number one sports station 97 through the Fan. I mean, what do you think the scene in Portland's going to be tonight?
I mean, they're lucky that their first game back is in Portland.
Yeah, if they're on the road, it's
if
even
it was
worse.
Anywhere else, it was going to be.
Hey, the Blazers are in town to take on the New York Knicks.
Oh boy!
Could you imagine if they're in like a major media market? I mean, they're in Portland. I mean, that has to. What is that? The smallest city market in the NBA?
If they were playing in New York, if I were a player, I'd be like, can we not tonight? Can we just go to the next one, please? Can we just not?
I think we got media availability tonight. They can only do that so many times. Media availability for the Trailblazers. Can we jump on the Zoom call for that? Did we count?
Unfortunately, we got a company memo earlier today that Zoom is not working properly today.
How convenient. All this gambling stuff, and Otani leaves the country. You know, that was the funniest meme I saw.
It's a very convenient time.
That's right. Anyway, I don't know how the NBA. I mean, the NBA. How about this too? And I know we got to get to break, but like. The NBA, and I'm not a huge NBA fan. I am just locked into the NBA right now. This is just fascinating stuff.
It's hard not to be.
It's hard not to be. I mean, they have taken over. I mean, baseball's like, hey, we got a World Series game today. You kidding me?
Yeah, that's cool.
That's sick, dude. I mean, those guys are getting paid to hit their parlays.
I too have had an alcoholic beverage under the supervision of my parents.
That's
like,
true.
what do you?
But you're locked into this, the NBA thing, and I know we got to get to break, but I think about a situation in which, and there's no, I mean, this could be it, right? We have no other information, but Kash Patel said this is still an ongoing investigation. I mean, there could be more arrests happening throughout the NBA. There could be more arrests happening in other parts of professional sports. I mean, Anybody that knows that they were involved with this or did something like this or knows the 5 families in professional sports has to be sweating bullets right now.
We'll go to break on this. You've heard the Dave Ramsey show, right? Whether on purpose or by accident, just surfing through the
If you showed me a picture, maybe.
He's mostly on radio, but he's a financial advisor.
Oh, fun.
Who does a radio show. These memes.
Oh, I know who you're
Dave
talking
Ramsey
about. Yeah,
show
yeah, the guy's like, so you have what now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've made $160 million in your NBA career.
That is correct.
And you're now facing a federal indictment for rigging a poker game to make $200,000.
That's right.
All right.
And he's got his face is just all like angry. Yeah, there's so much more in the aftermath of this. I mean, we're trying to give you updates on what's going on with the Padres. There is really nothing, just all quiet on the Western Front. And in terms of the managerial search, and we wanted to make fun of the Angels for only giving Kurt Suzuki a 1-year deal and all these other things, but I've just been enamored with the NBA story. We'll try to lock back in when we come back. The Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. Well, we had a couple of things come down with this more. And honestly, it leads to a very important question in the National Basketball Association. In the National Basketball Association. Shout out to Chainsaw from the DSC back in the day. I used to listen to that show all the time as a kid. I remember listening to that show driving to school every day because my mom would listen to it. I used to love that part of the little sports update that Chainsaw would do. In the National they play a comedy clip. Skip-Ball Association. And give you the three or four NBA scores. So great. So great. Dave Shelley and Chainsaw Show. A long-running show in San Diego. It was great. Reminds me of driving, literally hitting every red light on Pomerado Road from Scripps Ranch to St. Michael's. The DSC show. Dave Shelley and Chainsaw. Shout out to them. All right. Can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays of the NFL and CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Jay Busby put out a column today. He's a senior writer for Yahoo Sports, and he asked the question, and this is what the headline said: how can we trust the NBA right now? How can we trust the NBA right now? He lays into this another situation in which we had a clip of a Boston radio guy talking about how the Celtics played the Trailblazers on March 5th, 2025 of this year. Celtics 9-point favorites in the game, played as such, taking the lead shortly before halftime and never relinquishing it. But with 12 seconds left in the game, Boston led 126-118 and were dribbling out the clock. And then all of a sudden, Portland started to foul. Why on earth would a team down 8 points foul twice? Once with a foul to give and once with a foul that sent Boston to the line with 6 seconds remaining. It's clear on video. Most of the Celtics and 3 of the Blazers are standing around waiting for the game to end while Portland's Shadon Sharp and Scoot Henderson zero in on Boston's Peyton Pritchard, not once but twice. After the second foul, Pritchard sank 2 free throws to push the score to 128-118, which is how the game ended. A 10-point margin of victory in a game with a spread of 9 points. An easy, manipulatable moment where someone, a player, a coach, so inclined, and a whole bunch of bets on that spread in the space of 4 seconds flipped from one side to the other. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it was 2 meaningless garbage time fouls, but then again, maybe not. After all, the head coach of those Portland Trailblazers, Chauncey Billups, matches the exact description of an NBA coach who the FBI alleged Thursday provided inside information to a known to him gambler who then proceeded to bet against the Trailblazers. That's incredible.
Oops.
There was a clip about that was circling on social media last night. That was the direct quote from the article, or should I say column, by Jay Busby. If you want to go check it out, it's on yahoosports.com or on yahoo.com. And he brings up 3 particular points about the NBA and why you can't really take them at face value anymore. It's true. Like Brett Siegel's an NBA insider, right? Like he's going to be down the middle. He's a journalist. We're entertainers. We're talk show hosts. We're talking about the drama, the entertainment, everything like that. And you listen to us for the opinion. Here are 3 facts that the NBA, 3 things that we've learned about the NBA in just a couple of months, as pointed out by Jay Busby. And I totally agree with this. Players allegedly are manipulating their own playing time in the service of prop bets. You have now seen 2 guys do it. Deontay Porter and now Terry Rozier. That's just 2. A coach allegedly informing a known to him gambler of players' availability before that information was publicly available. That is something you have also learned about the NBA. And by the way, have we all forgotten about the entire situation with the Los Angeles Clippers and Kawhi Leonard and Steve Ballmer? I mean, we have totally forgotten about that. That was a couple of months ago. An owner allegedly orchestrating or turning a blind eye to the payment of a star player in a way that circumvents the salary cap. That's a whole lot of manipulation, or put more directly, fixing, that runs from the half-court logo right up to the executive suites and back again. That is a great line from Jay Busby's article. You cannot take the NBA at face value any longer. As quoted in this article, this is a league, after all, that cleared Terry Rozier from a gambling-related wrongdoing, only to have the FBI swoop in and hammer him for exactly that in an indictment issued Thursday. Absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence, as the old legal line goes, but does anyone seriously believe that the NBA's gambling woes are confined only to a few individuals, or that the LA Clippers are the only team that has allegedly experimented with, shall we say, innovative salary cap workarounds? This is some damning evidence. And as pointed out by Jay Busby, and the thing is I totally forgot about the Steve Ballmer situation with the Los Angeles Clippers. You have owners manipulating, and who knows? As he points out in the article or in his column, are we just sitting here believing that the NBA only has a couple of these incidents? It's not a multiple problem. The fact that Adam Silver has not come out and been like, okay, we got to address this situation. I mean, you could get all of the lawyer mumbo jumbos you want, but you got an owner manipulating the salary cap, you got a player manipulating prop bets, and you have a coach using insider information to benefit gamblers. All three aspects of the game, the player, the coach, and the owner, there's nobody else that we're missing, are all manipulating this sport. They are all showing that this game, in a term, is being fixed. So how do you take the NBA at face value? How do you know you're actually watching real basketball, or if you're watching what has really turned into boxing and how corrupt boxing is, or just an episode of the WWE? I mean, how do you know? They have given you no reason to believe that the sport you're watching, the NBA, is actually pure and true. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. And the NBA is going to have to save some face on this very quickly, or people are going to start losing interest in their product even more than they already were as you look by the TV ratings. How do you go about this if you're the NBA? You have to. This is a massive problem for you. I agree with the statement in this article. We can't take the NBA at face value any longer. This is the league that has, I mean, the Terry Rozier situation is damning enough. And then to throw in Chauncey Billups, I mean, that situation in Boston on March 5th, when you go back, when you watch it live, you're like, why are they fouling? That doesn't make any sense. And now when you look back at it and it involves one of the alleged co-conspirators of this indictment, and you're like, this seems a little fishy. Frank, how do you watch an NBA game now and not think in the back of your mind that this isn't a pure basketball league?
You don't.
You can't.
And it's gotten so bad that idiots like you and me can watch it live and tell something's going on. If you're into like the sports betting and the sports fixing and stuff like that, there are little hints that you could see that not the general public is going to see. But when quote unquote normies, when idiots like us can tell live that something is wrong, like that Boston reporter, go back and look it up. The guy's name is Joe Murray, I believe his name was.
Joe Murray.
Yes, Joe Murray, Murray on Twitter. He posted the clip of the night after him discussing it. It's a 3.5-minute clip. Otherwise, we would have played it on here. But he noticed it the night it happened that something was up. And if you're doing it that obvious, if you're doing it that obviously, and if you're being that transparent about it, you've completely lost the integrity of your game. Period.
I remember, and maybe we got to get, I don't know. I mean, when, Odyssey, we had a betting insider had to come on once a week. And I remember him saying, I never bet the NBA. It's a waste of my time. He said that for every time. He's like, you know what? If you want to bet this, it's cool, I guess. But like, you can't bet the NBA. And his reasoning was, you never know who's going to play. You never know what the roster's going to be like. Why would I ever bet the NBA? You have these late time scratches. I want to know how much he actually knew about. Like, hey, don't bet the NBA. He flat out said, he was just like, I can't bet the NBA. I can't. There's nothing about the NBA I can bet on. I don't like the way that there's too much load management. You have no idea who's playing at a given night. He's like, it's impossible to win betting the NBA. That's what he said. Because I asked him one time, I'm like, just traditional betting advice, what would you give? He's like, don't bet the NBA. Just flat out said, don't bet the NBA. It's too difficult to do. I mean, they'd go on to talk about how like systemic risk factors for like throwing games. I mean, the NBA is is basketball the most manipulatable sport, major sport? You have small rosters. You have late game situations where you can just put people on a free, untimed shot to get points. I mean, it's easy to disguise a lot of stuff as garbage time. Adam Silver has to try to restore public confidence in this league, or despite the start to the league, that the start of the year that the league has had and having it being really great, there's going to be a lot of people uninterested. If I'm NBC, I'm knocking on their door right now. I'm like, hey, we just gave you a lot of money. All right. Like, we're going to need you to save this because we're going to lose ratings and people aren't going to watch this. Or people are going to watch it like the WWE and be like, what kind of crazy stuff's going on today in the NBA?
You know what I find interesting? Now, load management, as we discussed, started in 2012. That was when the Spurs rested their core four for a nationally televised game, and they got fined for it. There were rules that were implemented during the 2017-2018 season that were supposed to limit load management. Instead, load management has become more and more of an issue in 2017 and 2018. When did the NBA get their first betting sponsor?
Couldn't tell you on the top of my head.
August 2018.
Interesting. That sounds like a conspiracy.
I'm just saying, load management becomes more prevalent and more of an issue in the league when it introduces its first betting sponsor.
Frank's just asking questions.
Exactly right.
But again, I agree with this, Colin. I don't know how you can watch the NBA and be like, this is all, there's nothing going on. I mean, how do you have any faith in this league right now? And here's the thing. It's just right now it's the NBA. But just wait. I mean, if there's more names coming out and there's more to this investigation, I mean, this is not like we're investigating Terry Rozier. This is not we're investigating just Chauncey Billups. This is we're investigating the five families, the Italian mafia. That is who the FBI is investigating, right? That's the big fish. Am I wrong on that? I would imagine that's probably the case.
Yeah, and that's why
that's the big fish.
That's why these investigations take so long, is because, okay, we got this guy. Now where's he going to lead us?
And they don't press charges unless they got something. It's the FBI. It's not like the local authorities, right? I mean, these guys they're putting in a lot of time and effort into getting this done. They need a conviction. And they're going after the crime families, right? They're going after the illegal betting schemes and all this stuff. And all of a sudden these names start popping up. That is what this is. That is what this is for. So when you look at it, and we're talking about the NBA right now, but I'm telling you right, I'm telling you right, do you think that the five families don't have people in the other leagues? You're crazy. There might be some stuff coming out with them in other leagues. It might not just be the NBA. That's why this is so fascinating. This is a big bombshell in the sports world. This is a gigantic scandal. And we'll continue to talk about it the more news we get, and we continue to get more news as the day goes along. Speaking of news, when we come back, we'll get to the sports thread. We're super late, but you know what? There's a lot to talk about today on the show. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number one sports station, 97 through the Fan. We got to get to the sports thread this hour on 97th Day Defeat. Bleh.
It's a Friday.
It is. And then, I get cotton mouth every time I drink a coffee. They say never drink coffee when you're on air, and I do it all the time. And
Every day.
And I go, bleh.
Multiple cups of it, too.
That's a lie. Not multiple.
Brother.
Sometimes I do.
Come on.
Sometimes. Today, this is one. This is one. This is one Yeti. The Army beat Navy, apparently. The Army Cup today. I have a Navy one, too. This is from the Army-Navy game. Some information on that to be determined in the future. You, too, Frank, might get one of these cups.
We're in Navy town. Why are you promoting the Army?
I just have the Army one today. I have a Navy one, too. Every time I go to Army-Navy, I buy one shirt or hoodie, depending on how cool they are. And they're usually super cool. I get one of each to rep at softball and on the show and everything like that. So I can't wait.
It's a Navy town. You're repping Army stuff. There's
Army people here, dude.
That is a foul.
Too. There's not any Army bases, but there's Army people here too. I know people on both sides. My relatives were Army members. Tano Latuli, who's at San Diego State, was at Army. So I had to rep more Army when he was at Army, of course. We didn't have any players in Navy. But I like to rep both. We are also the affiliate of the Navy midshipmen.
Exactly. Double.
He draws the foul.
Repping Army on the flagship of Navy football.
I'm just trying to stir the pot for the Army-Navy game. Is that so wrong? I'll have Navy stuff next week. I probably had the Navy Cup yesterday and had no idea. Have it all the time. All right. We do got to get to the sports thread, but I do have somebody brought up that player, the Vanderbilt guy I told you about. I have the article on that. Reading through that now, after the information today, makes that story even crazier. I remember reading that story, and it was released on March 2024. I remember reading that story and people in this building going like, you don't honestly believe that, do you? You bet your ass I do. Absolutely. Am I taking a victory lap? Kind of. Is it kind of a sad victory lap? Yeah, because it's kind of sad that this is happening. But you reread that story, I'm telling you, you're going to be like, you think this is just the NBA? You think it's just the NBA? You think it's just the NBA? What else is going on in the sports world? Let's get to the sports thread.
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk. Brought to you by QC Kinetics. Stop sitting on the sidelines. QC Kinetics gets you back in the game without surgery. To learn how, visit QCkinetics.com.
All right, Frank, what do we got going on in the sports world? Nothing going on in the NBA, right? I mean, nothing.
You don't actually believe that, do you? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do.
Doesn't matter.
Boy, Santa's coming in 2 months. All right, here we go.
Yeah, he is.
Number 1.
The New York Giants coach Brian Daboll and running back Cam Skattebo have been fined.
Nice.
Stemming from violations of the concussion protocol surrounding the evaluation of rookie quarterback Jackson Dart during the game against the Philadelphia Eagles a couple of weeks ago. The Giants were assessed a $200,000 fine for violating the protocol, while Daboll was fined $100,000 and Skattebo $15,000 for conduct detrimental to the league, as if the NFL doesn't do that on its own enough already. During the October 9th game.
Like, is there yelling at the trainer?
I guess so. Against the Philadelphia Eagles, Jackson Dart grabbed his head on the ground after taking a hit in a third quarter sack.
Correct.
After Dart was taken to the blue tent to be evaluated, Daboll approached the tent and poked his head in. Skattebo also went into the tent, which is where the fouls come from.
So the fines come from. They're getting fined because of the optics of it.
Yes.
Because they don't, I mean, he said he was checking on this guy, but he was adamant about it. He was upset. And it doesn't help that the Giants fans were booing Russell Wilson at the same time that Brian Daboll And Cam Scatterwood was like, bro, you got to get back out there. We're getting killed out here with the fans, the Giants fans. You know what? The Giants fans should be fined. How about that?
Brother saw Russell Wilson throw one pass and started screaming at the head trainer. In that order, he saw him throw a pass and then started screaming at the head trainer.
Scatterbo should get a fine for the detriment of the health of the NFL. Or what was it? What was the term? Detriment to the NFL, like the brand of the NFL, or something like that.
Yeah, detrimental to the brand of the NFL. Yes.
Scatterbo should just do that just for banging his head against the wall all the time. Guy's just constantly banging his head against the wall. What else we got today very quickly?
Number 2.
The SEC has suspended longtime referee Ken Williamson for the remainder of the season in the wake
not for betting, just for being bad.
In the wake of his Cruise performance, the entire Cruise performance in Georgia's 20-10 victory over Auburn on October 11th. Williamson, who was the crew chief for that game, told the SEC officials prior to the opening of the game that he was going to retire after the season. The SEC declined to comment on Thursday. The SEC does not comment on personal matters. A league spokesman said Williams did not respond to text messaging asking for a comment either.
We are asking a lot of questions on the show this week, huh?
Boy, oh boy.
From Mission Hills High School to this particular situation.
What was the spread on that game?
Oh, stop it.
Well, no, now it's
now you gotta ask, right?
It's kind of prevalent now.
Jeez.
Find
Jackson Dart on Scattaboo and Dable's fantasy team?
He must have been.
Yeah, he sucked. That ref sucked in the game. He got suspended for the rest of the year. Who knows what now I can't look at any stories any differently now.
Let's see. Gamecast.
Orthodox Evans brings up a good point. You called what Russell threw a pass?
It was a thing. Here's what it was.
An object floated in the air.
Oh, it was only a 3.5. It was a 4.5 point spread.
Before we get to the whip around and pick a bunch of games against the spread,
yeah,
I'll tell you about the story of the Vanderbilt quarterback from a couple of years ago that seems a little bit more damning now on the Braden Surprenant show.
San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime use.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
We've had a heck of a show today. I think we've been we have like 2 time frames that we can break at, and we have broken after the second break time for like every segment because everything's been jam-packed on the sports gambling news. And just a little bit, we're going to get the NFL whip around where we pick every team with the spread or against the spread. Fun stuff.
I know that station does work with Soapy Joe's. I believe our chief bubble officer
is Tony, isn't he?
Yeah, is working on the next show.
Yeah, what's going on? Do you need a car wash or something?
I did. I just got a $5 Magic Joe car wash because I got an email. They have an Eminal Halloween costume vote going on right now.
Interesting.
And if you vote in that, you get a $5 car wash plus $1 gets donated to an animal shelter.
How about that?
So it costs you nothing to vote. You get to see a couple of cute cats and dogs in Halloween costumes. Vote on your favorite.
Interesting.
And off you go.
All guests on 97 through the Fan. Join us via the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Been an interesting liner to read this week, to say the least. This hour of the Braden Surprenant Show is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Okay. We have seen a lot of videos surface. We've seen a lot of different older games, a lot of it involving the Blazers and not making a lot of good decisions. We talked about the game that they had against the Boston Celtics when they're fouling down 8 with under a minute to go. The spread of that game was 9 in favor of the Celtics. Celtics end up winning by 10. Odd. We've seen the video now of the Chicago Bulls and the Blazers coming back to go on a 10-0 run and are about to pull up the big comeback to potentially beat the Bulls in Chicago. And the 2 highest scorers for the Trailblazers get taken out with 2 minutes to go. One of them had 37 points. The 2 highest scorers on the night get taken out with 2 minutes to go. Blazers end up losing that game. And somebody asked in the YouTube chat, and I remember this is what I was talking about, what I thought when it comes to the whole betting situation. Remember, I said it earlier today that, we're crushing the NBA, but at the same time, this is not saying the other sports leagues or college leagues are free from this. And I immediately thought about the quarterback at Vanderbilt from a couple of years ago. And Orthodox Evan in the chat even reminded me about it. He goes, remember that story of that kid, I think it was in college sports, that was claiming the mafia came after him and told him what to do in a game? It was like 2 years ago. This was on March 9th, 2024, that this news came out. Aria Gerson of the Nashville Tennessean had this article. I remember this. I remember reading this here in this building saying hello. And I remember what I was told from coaches about the coaching clinic, in which one of the gentlemen that was at the coaching clinic knew somebody in the 5 families very closely and had to go on to say, if you don't think we have somebody or multiple people, whether it be players, coaches, or front office, in every league, on every team, I got beachfront property to sell you in Iowa. I remember that vividly. And then I saw this article come out. I remember like, this might be going on. Everybody's like scoffing at it. Mafia, the Italian mafia, was the 1920s? They're still around. They're still doing whatever they do. Don't worry about it. Go back and read that article in the Tennessean. In fact, I'll even bring it up for you. I'll just make it easier for yourself. This article was written on March 9th, 2024. Everybody that read it before scoffed at it, didn't look at it, didn't care. Here's the headline. Ex-Vanderbilt quarterback who threw 17 passes in his career claims Italian mob offered cash to fix SEC football games. Everybody's like, no way. No way. Nah, there's no way. Mo Hassan had 17 career pass attempts and never made a start, but the former Vanderbilt quarterback said the Italian mob knew enough about him to offer $300,000 to fix college football games when he was with the Commodores. A backup at Vanderbilt in 2018 and 2019 made the wild claim on an episode of the Momentum podcast, which he hosts. He said he was at Jason Aldean's Kitchen and Rooftop Bar on Broadway in Nashville when he was approached by a mobster who said other SEC players had been offered between $250,000 and $300,000 to fix games. Hassan said Alabama was one of the schools involved. Quote from the podcast. He said, we regularly talk to guys at your position about fixing games, Hassan said in the February 29th clip of the episode that was posted on X. You know this article is old because it said formerly known as Twitter. He named guys in the SEC who I don't want to say their names because they're in the NFL right now, but University of Alabama, I'll tell you that. He said almost every game in the SEC is rigged. A spokesperson for the Vanderbilt football program declined to comment on Hassan's accusation. An SEC spokesperson did not respond to a request for comment. Hassan played at Vanderbilt for 2 seasons, 2018 and 2019, after playing at Syracuse and Coffeyville, which is a community college in Kansas. He appeared in 7 games and went 11 for 17 for 158 and 1 touchdown before transferring to USC. He was the Trojans quarterback from 2020 to 2022, or he was with the Trojans, but did not see action due to injury. Hassan then doubled down on his story after his claims made the rounds, including a mocking rebuke from ESPN analyst, former Alabama quarterback Greg McElroy. Wonder what Greg had to say, Frank. It's hard to rig games from the bench, so I've been told. McElroy said Friday on McElroy and Get the Morning podcast.
My God, dude. Did you have to go at him that hard?
Guys, hey, you know what? Maybe Greg was getting some undone influence. Who knows?
Maroon. I probably shouldn't say it that way. My God.
Yeah. Probably shouldn't say that way. Context, dude. Read the room. Understand the situation at hand. Okay? Put your Italian horn away for a second. Quote by Hassan again, doubling down. For those of you in my mention saying the mob doesn't need to pay off Vandy because we've lost a lot, you must not be familiar with prop bets. LOL. In 2023, Alabama baseball fired their coach Brad Bohannon due to his involvement in a gambling scheme that was identified when a bettor told sportsbook employees that Bohannon had provided him with insider information. There is no evidence that any Crimson Tide players were involved in fixing games. Basketball games involving Temple and LMU were flagged for suspicious betting activity, according to reports from Sports Illustrated. This is from March of 2024. Now that everything that has come out on the Terry Rozier and the Damon Jones and the Chauncey Billups situation, how does the tone of this article play out, Frank?
I think Santa's coming in 2 months.
I mean,
start to believe it.
Everybody was just laughing at this kid in March of 2025. By the way, where is this guy? Does anybody know where Mo Hassan is?
Don't worry about it.
Does anybody know where Mo Hassan is?
Don't worry about it.
I mean, this is crazy. And it's also not. It's crazy and it's not at the same time.
It's starting to sound like I'm not going to be surprised if I see the Easter Bunny hopping along next year.
I just you read that article now in October of 2025, just a year and how many months? I don't want to do the math in my head. Doing math on the air is stupid. I remember saying this. I remember people like the sales that was like, what are you talking about? The mafia? I'm pretty sure somebody said it was in the Reindl report.
Yeah, Orthodox 7 said it was in the Reindl report.
Italian mafia. What? Nah. Do you believe Hassan now? Do you believe Mo Hassan now? This is why, and again, I don't think this is crazy conspiracy stuff for the Scrabistan and everything that goes on the Scraby show. This is legit stuff.
Yeah, this is happening.
How can you not go back and look at this article and be like, you know what? Maybe this is going on. He didn't want to name names because of Alabama players. And it said his position that are currently playing in the National Football League. Didn't want to name names. I mean, you'd have to go start looking at Alabama games, prop bets, everything like that. It's all starting to piece together. Again, what the guy said at the coaches clinic about the 5 families having players or coaches on every team and every league, and take that detail for what it's worth. Just a rumor here or there. That's not been reported or anything like that. To the Vanderbilt backup quarterback saying he was offered $300,000 to fix college football games. To now the FBI and arresting Terry Rozier and Damon Jones and Chauncey Billups. I mean, I'm telling you, it's the tip of the iceberg. And everybody that has been paying attention understands that this is just the tip of the iceberg, this particular scandal. That, by the way, it's not like they just randomly did it. It's not like Terry Rozier, well, he was kind of dumb, but it's not like Terry Rozier was super stupid and just decided to do this last week, and now they looked into it, and FBI's like, oh, well, this is kind of crazy. They've been doing this for more than, 3 or 4 years in the making?
Yes.
It's the FBI, guys. This isn't like the NBA or MLB or any of those entities doing their own investigations. This is the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They don't mess around. They don't mess around. They ain't putting these charges unless they know they could get a guilty verdict. They're not. I mean, this is, again, innocent until proven guilty. We'll see how the court gets. This is going to take forever. But it's still an ongoing investigation, and more's going to come out of this, Frank.
See, and like Brandon just said in the chat, now I'm wondering if it was a legit win for San Diego State in the Sweet 16 against Bama, or if Bama threw the game. That is what this investigation has done. It has called into question the legitimacy, not just of the NBA, but every single sport, because you may say stuff like that as a joke, but it's also not a joke in that regard as well, because it's happened, and it's happened in a big way now, and it's out in front of us, and it involves more than just the NBA and a few players. Much in the same way, there was an ESPN 30 for 30 done about a gambling ring in college basketball in the early 90s, the late 80s, early 90s. It was just those guys. It was a small group of guys. This is a big, expansive issue that, while you may say that jokingly, there's also that air of genuine question about it now, where any close game or any deciding moment that comes down to an iffy decision or an iffy play, you've opened yourself up to all sorts of criticism now, whether it be true or not.
And Prolific said they don't mess. It's the FBI guy. They're not messing around.
Yes.
And they're not going after Rozier and Billups and Jones.
No,
those guys are just pawns in this deal to get more information. They're going after the 5 families. They're going after the mafia. That's who they're going after. They're not going after these like basketball players that fell into this trap of whatever. And I'm not saying they're victims in this. You make your own decisions. And eventually decisions lead to some of these actions, even if they, if they compiled, and we don't know, but all the different avenues that these players and coaches took to get to this point, they had made decisions for. So I'm not going to say that they're victims in this particular situation, but the reality of the situation is, as Blue Meanie says, they want the big dog.
Yeah.
They want the big dogs. And all of this is going to come out. And do you think these guys are going to stay silent right now? Oh, hell no.
Adam Paul in the chat, there was a different, it may not have been a 30 for 30. It may have been on Netflix. There was one about Arizona State basketball that happened around that time frame as well. It might have been a Netflix documentary. I think it was. I think it was an episode like Dirty Money or something. I think is what it was. That's what I was referring to.
I'm pretty sure, this was on TMZ Sports. They had Michael Franzese on.
Yeah, Michael Franzese.
He was a part of this entire thing. He was out there talking about it on TMZ not too long ago. He might have just put some stuff out on his own. He's got an Instagram, he's got a YouTube and stuff. He's just super popular now. But the mob's been around. And again, it was a long time ago. I don't think it's the case anymore. But I'm telling you, a long time ago. And maybe not even that long. I'm pretty sure the mob had a bunch of restaurants in town here in San Diego. I'm pretty sure Mr. A's was run by the mob back in the day. You could see all the Italian photos all over the place at Mr. A's. It's not now. But there's a lot of those places throughout San Diego. I told the story, before the show started that my grandmother told me. My grandmother's maiden name's Cicero. She came from Chicago. She was born in Chicago, right? She has told the story a couple of times before. Every Sunday, a gentleman in a suit in a limousine would show up to my grandmother's house when she was a kid with a couple other dudes wearing suits. And they would give him things, just random stuff, as gifts. He'd show up every Sunday. They'd give him stuff. He'd go back in the car. He'd disappear. This is my grandmother. It's not that far away in terms of so when you look at the mobsters and you watch all these movies and you're watching Goodfellas and The Sopranos TV show, right? And you're watching all these old school crime movies and you're oh, that was kind of cool. This is stuff that's still going on. People talk about the cartel and everything. The Italian mob, the five families are still doing stuff. It still all exists. There's probably restaurants that you go to that are part of it. You don't even realize. And so that why, when you know things like this, when you hear the stories, right, about the different Italian restaurants in town, to the different spots here in town, and I've heard it from family members. You could talk about the days back when all the Italians were living in Little Italy here. It's been going on, and it continues to go on. And it's not just the Italians, but now everybody's got their own group. And to say that it's just them is one thing, but there's a lot of this going on. And that's why when you hear the stories, and it's not overly shocking that in a day and age where it's easy to gamble and easy to bet, that organized crime's a part of this stuff. It's not that crazy. And now all of a sudden it's these stories that came out where everybody scoffed at oh, what is this? The 1920s? I tell you what, we had a jewel thief, we've had a poker heist, and we've had now a sports gambling situation.
We've gone through a time warp in a week.
Is it 1925 or is it 2025? I don't know. We got to take a quick break. This is fascinating stuff. I know this has been the topic of conversation for every segment, aside from a couple of the guests that we've had, but it just continues to pile up, and we have to continue to talk about it. What do you guys think? 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Got a couple people online. We'll get your phone calls when we come back. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Zone Sports Station 97 through the Fan. This hour, 97 through the Fans, brought to you by IHOP, introducing the IHOP value menu, where all your breakfast faves are just $6 each every day. Where else can you get a big, filling sit-down breakfast for only $6? Go to your happy plates with the $6 IHOP value menu, available every day at IHOP, $7 in some locations. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. The lone Italian show on the airwaves here at 97 through the Fan. Are we the only Italians?
I would have to assume.
I think so. I think we're the only Italians. So, what better people to talk about this, I guess. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Spell it right. Weech. Sandwich.
Sanguiche.
Sanguich.
Sanguiche.
Sanguich.
No, it's not guiche. It's sanguiche.
You northern Italians.
For God's sake.
Just saying. Let's get out to some of the phone calls. Vince in Chula Vista wants to weigh in. Vince, what's going on, man?
Hey, Braden, how are you, man? This one's interesting because, you know, I'm Vince from Chula Vista, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. There isn't anybody in Brooklyn that calls me Vince. I'm Vinny from Brooklyn, right? And so I was born and raised in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. Carlo Gambino and that family was the one that kind of controlled the neighborhood that I grew up in. So I find this absolutely fascinating. And if anyone thinks that it's just the NBA, like you were saying, Braden, that it's just the NBA, this is just the tip of the iceberg on this. This DraftKings and FanDuel, once professional sports opened it up, once they started putting professional franchises in and professional teams in Vegas, this fits the Five Families business model perfectly. And so I thought I heard this week that the betting it's like $150+ billion a year business. And if we don't think that the Five Families aren't dipping into that 150 billion, man, but what's going to come out, it's going to be so interesting. So you got Chauncey Billups and these, you know, bit players, right? We think it's big because it's the NBA. What may be coming out, like what you were talking about, the SEC, I'm sure it's all over the NFL. I'm sure it's all over MLB. Wherever there's a professional game going on, notwithstanding the poker games that are happening, I just find this to be absolutely just fascinating. And anytime I can go from Vince from Chula Vista to Vinny from Brooklyn, I'm going to take the opportunity to do that. So, Braden, as always, love your show, brother. Keep going. And I'm going to look to listen to the rest of the show today because I'm sure you guys will keep driving it. So take care and have a good weekend, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that, Vince. Yeah, I mean, I sit here and we're talking about it. I just feel like we're talking about it the more you think about it and you start seeing all these stories, the more that it's just like it gets more and more fascinating and also concerning for like the sports world.
Yeah, as we brought up earlier, and as I mentioned, that Craig Carton said it yesterday, this is a 3 to 4 year investigation.
Correct.
That's coming out now. How did Major League Baseball get Ohtani's investigation done in a day and a half?
Well, think about the NBA investigation too of Rozier.
These are questions that are going to come out now. These are questions that other leagues are going to have to face when they see interesting things, when they see things that don't align like this.
Here's the deal, too. Vinny brought it up. Vinny from Brooklyn brought it up. You start talking about some of these, it's a $150 billion business is what he said. Let's just go off the numbers that Vince said. You don't think like they're not a part of that business? I mean, come on. You know they're a part of that business. They're part of a lot of businesses. And when you look at the way that everything plays out, the legalization of sports gambling flagged all this stuff.
Yes.
Think about it from that perspective. If they didn't have the legalization of sports betting, they didn't have FanDuel and DraftKings and all these entities, all these things aren't getting flagged. They're getting flagged. Because it's so much easier to gamble now. So you got a guy like Chauncey Billups, right? And in the report, he's telling a known gambler about XYZ. Do you think known gambler's the most trustworthy person? He's just running his mouth. He's got his own known gambler friends, got an inside tip. What do you think those guys are doing? Calling, I don't want to use Vinny as an example, but calling like Joey, Tony, Vinny. Do you think they're calling any of those guys and being like, yo, dude, let me get whatever. Let me get the action on against the Blazers? Not what I got on my phone. Who would you rather owe money to? FanDuel or Vinny? FanDuel. For sure. So you got all these all this insider stuff, right? And now all of a sudden it's legalized gambling, and this stuff is getting flagged. And now all of a sudden you got entities like the FBI going, "What's going on here?"
And to that point, making it illegal again isn't going to fix the problem.
No, definitely not.
We've already tried that back in the 20s with prohibition. What did that make?
NASCAR. Moving on.
Let's make gambling illegal again.
Exactly. Great, I guess.
No,
it wouldn't be.
You got crime. You got organized crime. This is when the mafia was out and about running around. This is when they were at their height. They didn't make all that money from mattress stores and
sanitation.
And running garbage trucks.
That's right.
It's not where that money came from. It came from things like prohibition, from underground gambling. That's where
providing
it all
a
came
service that you couldn't get.
Exactly.
Is basically what it is. Derek in La Mesa still hasn't picked up his shirt, by the way. What's going on, Derek?
Hey, brother. I promise I'm going to get in there. Brandon, Braden, and Fred, Frankie Two Thumbs. Hey, anyone in San Diego that is surprised by this, realize where you live. So I'm going to tell you a little story about being a law enforcement officer in East County for multiple years. And I will not name the restaurant, but we used to frequent a sit-down Mexican restaurant in the East County area, where all of the waitresses were really good looking. And
this call is no longer being
recorded. And you would pull into the parking lot and there would be Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Okay, I got news for you. The bartender at said restaurant was not driving a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. Figure it out. This stuff exists. It's prevalent. If you go to Las Vegas, I mean, come on, it's probably rampant, and I hope it just doesn't destroy sports, period. But this stuff exists. But San Diegans, look where you live. If you don't think that there are people from that world living and working in your community, you're out of your minds.
You got your head in the sand a little bit. Derek, appreciate the phone call. And that's a lot. There's a lot of different ones that are walking around. There's a lot of people going, I know that place. We don't need to say it. Matt in San Diego, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Matt?
Hey, Braden, thanks for taking the call. You kind of beat me to it, actually, talking about how the legalization creates the channels to flag this stuff. It'll be interesting to see how quickly folks catch on to the fact that it's really hard to bet $200,000 on Terry Rozier's unders without raising a few eyebrows, and that's where the legality of all this does kind of, while it's all in our face and I hate it just as much as everyone else, it does create those channels to kind of catch this stuff. But, it's always interesting historically with basketball, it is the easiest to manipulate. It's the easiest to point shave, and you don't necessarily have to throw a game to point shave. You can win and point shave and lose a bet. And when you just need one person, you don't need a whole team. And so that's where, it'll be interesting to see what this does to the NBA. I mean, I think this should really, just torch the NBA's entire, what was left of any respect that could be had for the NBA, because it was the WWE before all of this, and then now you throw this on top of it. I mean, I really loathe all the sports rigged truthers out there. You see them all over the place. They're convinced all sports are rigged, and you work hard to point out how dumb a lot of their theories are. But I mean, how can you do that in the NBA now? And Frank, you brought up Shohei Ohtani. I do want to put it out there. That one was pretty clearly his interpreter. It's a silly situation in that he would put so much faith in his interpreter. But I mean, if you look at his case, I mean, they've got clips of, I forget his name now, but impersonating Shohei, calling the bank and stuff like that. So that's when I do push to put to bed on, Shohei is not the secret gambler. He just he's bad at picking associates. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully this just leads to more regulation of betting. I think it should be treated like tobacco in terms of advertising. Like, it should just be limited in advertising. And I mean, we're already seeing moves towards getting rid of prop bets. I know college is trying to get rid of them. I mean, prop bets is where this manipulation really lives. I mean, you look at the baseball stuff, it's prop bet on first pitch of at bat, which we don't need to be betting on. That's just so dumb and only exists to be manipulated. And so hopefully this can lead to the push of eliminating the more manipulative stuff while keeping the legalization and safeguards in play and restoring faith in sports as a whole, except the NBA. NBA's toast in my mind.
Matt, appreciate the phone call. But as Frank was saying, it's odd that the investigation happened so fast. That was the point. Even though we still believe it's like probably eBay, but that's just the crazy conversation itself. The prop bets are a problem. I mean, you talk about the college level, right? We got this kid, Mo Hassan, who claims that an Italian mob member offered him $300,000 to fix some games. He talks about prop bets. I mean, could you imagine in this day and age of NIL and some guys that know they're not going to go to the league and want to stay in college as long as possible with eligibility, trying to get as much as possible, they get offered $300,000? I mean, do you think the backup quarterback for Vanderbilt's making $300,000? No. There's a lot of guys in college that are trying to make as much money as they can for their families. There's got to be some guys that are going to be like, oh, I just have to drop a ball or potentially try to get a couple of more completions. I mean, stuff that is obtainable and easier for a couple $100,000. You're telling me that they would say no? Come on. It's rampant everywhere. It might be. And again, it's just the tip of the iceberg. We'll get back to your phone calls as we continue really rolling through the show on a Friday. I mean, this thing has opened up a big can of worms, and it's a fascinating story. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Summer Sports Station 97 through the Fan. 12:43 on a Friday. If we get a contestant for the Midday Sports Stand-Up, we'll play it. And if you could take me down in sports trivia, you'd be qualified for a chance to win our grand prize, a trip for two to see Jerry Seinfeld in Las Vegas, including 2 tickets to the show on April 17th at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace, a 2-night stay at the Flamingo Hotel and Casino, and $100 gas card. Jerry Seinfeld returns to the Coliseum at Caesars Palace on April 17th and 18th. See Ticketmaster.com for tickets.
Gambling bad.
Going to Vegas and watching Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah,
great.
If you win our trivia game, you could go to Vegas, the home of gambling, to stay in a casino.
When we get to the whip around, like, I'm going to be like, Falcons are fair. They should win that game, but are they?
Yeah, no spreads. No spreads. We'll just pick straight up.
Straight up. Oh, man. It's straight up. Let's get to Kevin in Chula Vista. Kevin, what's going on? Very fun, very interesting stories going on in sports right now, Kevin.
Oh, it's terrific, and I'm glad it's finally being covered. The last 3 callers have been absolutely spot on, terrific. I'll just say this about Ohtani real quick, and I know everybody's tired of hearing it, but, rhetorical question is, you're making that much money and you don't know where your money's going. You don't review your bank account every once in a while and notice that $4 million is missing. And you say, well, I trusted this guy. I mean, come on. I mean, Braden, if you got that kind of money, you're taking a look at your bank account every once in a while. I guarantee it.
Absolutely.
So where we're at right now is another rhetorical question. I don't know how Adam Silver keeps his job. I've brought this up before, but I suspect because revenue's coming into the NBA, and they've got nice television contracts now. I guess that insulates him from all the other crap that's going on. But Frank, you brought up, what do we do? Go back to prohibition? Well, what we're doing now isn't working either. So I don't know what the answer is. There needs to be very strong and definite guardrails that aren't there right now. That's for sure. And there needs to be some very absolute and immediate penalties for these kinds of activities that go on illegally. A lot of it needs to get back under some kind of control, but people don't want to do that. So basically it comes down to the fans. How much more are the fans going to put up with? And when the integrity of the game and the public trust that surrounds that integrity is going to become more and more challenged and in question, when we see bizarre happenings in sports that make no sense, bizarre injuries that make no sense. I mean, every single time we've come up against things like this now, these events, the first thing that we're going to think about is this thing rigged? I mean, really, this is where we're headed. And if the commissioners in sports don't get this under control themselves, and the owners and the college sports officials, the goose that laid the golden egg ain't going to be so golden pretty soon, because at some point people are going to fed up, but they're going to figure it out. They're going to get out of their denial syndrome. And I'll leave you with that today.
That is true, Kevin. I mean, ultimately, it's going to come down to that. It's going to come down to whether or not people are going to watch on TV, right? If you think the game is rigged, or if you think that there's multiple assets out there or entities that are rigging the game or potentially shaving points or the overs and unders and not really just playing the game, how much of that league are you actually going to watch?
And my point in bringing up prohibition was it's been tried already. You can't just make it illegal now and think everything's going to be okay, because it's
and this
not.
is it's not, because people right now are assuming that the legalization of gambling has made this turn into a problem.
No,
not
it's the
knowing
other way
that it was
around.
always a problem, and legalizing the gambling has actually flagged a lot of these problems. I mean, I think you could get. First of all, there's too many things you could bet on. Have you ever looked at a couple of times? I've pulled up the betting apps in states where sports gambling is legal. You can get yourself into a nasty rabbit hole at what you can bet and what you can bet on. I mean, Matt in San Diego that called in brought up a good point. Betting on the first pitch of a game being a strike or a ball is asinine. That is something that is easily manipulated, that is easy to influence. I mean, we talk about the Guardians pitchers. that are under investigation right now for potentially doing said things. It's those things that are now becoming more prominent. It's a lot harder to try to, like, aside from basketball, but it's a lot harder to try to manipulate like money lines and spreads of games in a lot of different sports. But the prop bets, and there's a big reason why colleges and college like entities want to get rid of the prop bets. That's a massive problem. And it's very easy to gamble on those right now, and very easy probably to influence some athletes on this.
When Tennessee got sports gambling legalized, a very good friend of mine, not big money, like a couple dollars here and there, would bet on Romanian women's tennis. Not because he knew anything about it, just because he could. He'd throw $2 down on a match, $3 down on a match. Like he wasn't a degenerate. It's like throwing thousands of dollars on these sporting events that no one's ever heard of. But that's the rabbit hole you get down with this stuff.
I mean, betting Romanian tennis is kind of degenerate level.
Romanian women's tennis.
No. To make it crazier, I guess, than Romanian men's tennis. But yes. And again, like, the toothpaste is out of the tube. I've heard that multiple times this week. I mean, the sports gambling thing is making the league so much money. They're not going to just not have that. But at the same time, Kevin is right. Where they make their money, and a lot of it's TV, right? That's why in college football, when they talk about the college football playoff, they say it's all about TV ratings, all about TV ratings, all about TV ratings. Guess what people aren't going to watch nor give you ratings for? Sports that are like the WWE, where you go like, this is rigged. I understand the WWE now after having roommates in college like it. I'm like, isn't this rigged? And they're like, it's like a show. It's a TV show.
Predetermined.
It's a TV show. It's a TV show. Like, you have to view it like a TV show. You know what I don't want to watch? I don't want to watch a football TV show. You just watch Friday Night Lights on Netflix, I guess. I don't want to watch that. I like live sports. I like competition. I like guys going out there and competing. That's been a big problem with a lot of the big contract these guys have had. Some of them gotten complacent. You don't see the hard effort. That's why the all-star games are all gone, because they don't show, they're not the best of the best competing at the highest level. That's what people want to see. That's why everybody freaked out over what was the hockey thing last year? The Four Nations face-off, because you had all these guys playing their ass off. Mm-hmm. You had the best in the world in the sport playing their ass off for their country. That's what people want to see. What they don't want to see is any type of sport that's not like, whatever.
We do have a midday sports standoff contestant.
We have enough time. Do you want to do it at 1 o'clock?
No, we have it.
All right, let's get to it.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant Show.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
The ultimate head-to-head battle where sports knowledge and quick thinking collide.
No, it's no good. Are you kidding me?
Contestants will go toe-to-toe with Braden in a sports trivia deal where every correct answer brings them closer to victory.
Down the sideline! Wow! Unbelievable!
But 3 strikes and it's game over.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Can you outsmart Braden? The Midday Sports Standoff starts now.
All right, let's get to it very quickly. We're almost out of time.
We have Mike in Escondido. Mike, how are you, bud?
Hey, what's happening, guys?
Nothing much. Topic today, quick one. There are 6 teams that have won the national championship during the college football playoff era. Who are they? Mike, you have the first guess.
Oh, Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Alabama.
Alabama, yes.
Michigan.
Michigan, correct.
Let me say there were 6.
There's 6. We're halfway there.
LSU.
LSU, correct. Mike, you can clinch a victory here.
Drawing a blank, but I will go Texas.
Texas has not. Braden.
Georgia.
Georgia, yes.
Who's
you can
that
still
marching
clinch. You
there?
can still clinch a tie, which in this game you win.
Oklahoma.
Nope.
No, they do. You know what? The last two teams that you picked sure act like they've won national
Yeah, they
championships in the
do.
college football playoff.
They certainly do.
Oklahoma hasn't even won a college football playoff game. That's neither here nor there. The answer is Clemson Tigers.
Yes, it is. It is the Clemson Tigers, Mike. Sorry, but that is you are out of answers here.
By the way, that Oklahoma thing was not a knock on Mike not knowing that. That was just
that was a knock on Oklahoma.
All the Oklahoma fans that some of us have won college football playoff games and some of us have never won one. They sure act like they've won a lot, but they have not won a single game in the college football playoff. Shame. What a shame.
Just to get back for Mike, just in case he feels slighted there by that knock there.
That was a knock on Oklahoma for sure.
Who did Georgia beat to win their national championship?
Alabama, as a matter of fact. They beat them in January of 2022. They beat Alabama by a score of 33-18.
There was another one I was thinking of.
No, I just think they didn't have the game the next year. It's kind of weird.
Oh, okay.
They canceled it.
Okay.
When we come back, NFL whip arounds. All guests on 97 to the Fan join us via the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with the crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. What was that guy's name? Franzese?
Yeah.
Michael Francese?
Michael Francesa.
Francesa. I have gotten confirmation that Francesa is the
Franchise.
You've said it 3 different ways.
No, it's franchise. I said franchise, yeah, and you took that as franchise. French.
Well, you keep mumbling when you say it. Enunciate when you say it.
No. How about that?
N and I. Franzi? That's what it says on the thing. Franzi. What did you say?
The guy who made all.
Say it. Say it.
You yelling at me?
Say it.
Francaise.
Yes, I need you to yell it so I can understand what you're saying.
Francaise.
Francaise with a Z.
The guy who had all the movies made
correct.
by him, about him.
He is an American former mobster who was in the Colombo crime family in New York State, son of former underboss Sonny Francaise. Enrolled in pre-med program at Hofstra, dropped out to make money for his family after his father was sentenced to 50 years in prison for bank robbery in 1967. Guy is a mobster. Now he's got his own YouTube show and everything like that. I have gotten confirmation that that was the person that spoke at the coaches clinic that told everybody, we got people everywhere. This was like 3, 4, 5 years ago. He's the guy that said they got players and coaches on every sports team in the United States. And if you think differently, he's got beachfront property to sell you in Iowa. He was the one that was talking with TMZ about this entire thing. He's got a 30-minute episode about this on YouTube that came out yesterday, talking about this particular situation. It's crazy. It continues to be crazy. I had to get after Juan over here with his talking smack, the horned frauds. So I quickly had to ask him what his college football team was, which is San Diego State. I'm a supporter of San Diego State. But you know what? I got to answer back on the chirping. 0-7, big dog. 0-7. You were close. Close 1 year. Lindley almost got him. And that was when I was rooting for San Diego State because I hadn't had any ties to TCU yet. But that year when TCU went to the Rose Bowl, Aztecs, I think, only lost by 7 points. I got to go look at it.
Yeah, Juan, Braden's not like me. Braden's not just going to eat it because he knows it's all a part of the fun and games and the entertainment. He will clap back at it.
Oh, I'm clapping back when it's
Why
like
is
this.
Chemo wearing a Dodgers shirt?
He's a Dodger fan. You didn't know that?
No, I did not.
Are you still going to pet his dog? Dog's a Dodger fan, too. How does it make you feel?
Angie didn't do anything.
Angie's wearing a Dodgers jersey today. You didn't see that?
No, I didn't. I didn't even know Angie was here.
Angie's not here, nor is she wearing a Dodgers jersey. I bet you she's got one, though.
That's good for Angie. It's one more than I have.
November 13th, 2010. Aztecs only lost by 5. Closest they've ever been. Or we could talk about the game in 08. TCU won 41-7. That's 7 points, by the way, touchdown pass thrown by Drew Westling.
How about we stop making fun of the Aztecs because we're going to be rooting for them tomorrow?
No. I'm making fun of one. I told you I'm an Aztec supporter. I'm just saying. 0-7. Needs to be said. All right. It's time for us to make our own spread picks with the NFL whip around. Dodger loving Frank. Wow. Wow. You're supporting the dog that's got the Dodger jersey.
Dog didn't do anything wrong. It doesn't know better.
That's Chemo's fault.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Dog doesn't know any better.
Fire out the music. Here we go.
Oh. Gambling, sorry. Betting, my bad. Sorry. Force a habit, my bad.
That's great. All for the bit. I love it. That was amazing.
So
I apologize for yelling at you. That brings it all back. It's all back now. This is amazing.
You're welcome.
Okay, are we gonna?
Yesterday,
are we picking against the spread today, or
no,
is that too soon?
I think we can kind of.
We got to pick straight up now.
We'll need the other music for the spread betting.
Oh man!
Last night,
foul on us. Foul on both of us.
Last night, the Minnesota Vikings falling to the LA Chargers, 37-10. Chargers actually looked pretty good last night.
What was the spread in that game?
I think.
I mean, I can't take this seriously now. What are we gonna do for the rest of? What are we gonna do?
It was like 3.5.
What are we gonna do? We're gonna have to reset for the weekend. I mean, what are we gonna just pretend like none of this happened? I mean, everybody's now sitting going like, what was the spread?
You know what? Forget it.
No, go back to the NFL music. Basketball. Give me the spread because I'm gonna bet it. Like that, didn't you?
Deceased.
Give me the spread, says I'm gonna bet it.
Did you see the videos
Give me the
that have
under on the prop bets? What videos?
Have you seen the videos that have come out from SoFi that the big over the field jumbotron was like kind of trying to recreate the Qualcomm jumbotron?
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yes.
Everything about last night is disgusting. It's disgusting. My friend sent me a text. She was like, "Oh my God, bolt up!" And I'm like, "No, no, stop it, no, not bolt up.
No, we're bolting
no,
down. We're bolting down.
Bolt's nothing. Bolt this. Not bolt up, ever." I was like, what they did to San Diego last night was such a middle finger. Let's go wear the 90s uniforms, the late 90s, early 2000s uniforms where people that are in their 30s now can get nostalgic and be like, hey, look. Claiming Drew Brees on the. Well, I mean, he did play for Drew. They played for the Chargers. He still lives here. So the end zones, disgusting. Despicable. The Jumbotron trying to look like Qualcomm, and then the whole thing, let's just pretend that like that they were never in San Diego ever. By the way, what did they do with Rodney Harrison? They gave him a brick or something like that outside the Costa Mesa play. Rodney Harrison, really? That guy was he's flat out said, I feel like I'm a Patriot. They got rid of Rodney Harrison. I just don't. No. I'm not done with this yet. We've come to the point now where we fought so hard for them to go to the Powder Blues. They do it when they leave. The Powder Blues are the best. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, here's the Navy. Remember when you guys were kids and you used to root for us? You guys have money now. You're adults. You want to come and come root for us again? No. Disgusting.
Game is on right now, as a matter of fact.
I know. Those uniforms are so sexy. Everything about the Chargers uniforms is phenomenal. The end zones, great. But you know what? No. I agree. Barf up. Barf this. Bolt up. What? That is a foul. Award her a foul.
They even have the old.
Award her a foul. She deserves the foul.
I cannot award her a foul. It's on the same pot. You know this.
She gets a foul. She knows she gets a foul. I'm just saying that right now. She gets a foul. Bolt up. Ugh. They look good though. You're right.
They even did the wrapping, the wall wrapping around the field.
I know. And they called it the Superchargers. And they just keep pretending like they were never in San Diego. Disgusting. It's disgusting.
I'm
disgusted, except for the TCU alumni that play for the Chargers and Justin Herbert because I have him in fantasy. Uniforms are cool too.
Two teams that definitely never played in San Diego. The 1-6 Miami Dolphins taking on the Atlanta Falcons, who are 3-3.
See, this is what I'm talking about with you, Frank. They have definitely played in San Diego. You mean like playing?
Yeah, like they were never
context. You have to say it.
They were never San Diego's team.
That's what you needed to say.
God's sake.
Definitely a team that's never played San Diego. Are we doing the spread? Or are we not doing the spread?
No, we're not doing the spread.
Too soon? Too soon for spread?
Wrong music.
It's not the betting music, which is NBA and NBC. I'm going to take the Falcons. Dolphins suck.
Dolphins defensive end Jalen Phillips will record at least 28% pass rush win rate. God,
Sure. I hate nerds, too. Nerds are the worst.
0-7 New York.
Hang on a second. By the way, who's playing quarterback this week for the Falcons? Adam was making it sound like Kirk Cousins is going to play.
I have no idea.
How about this? We talked about nightmare fuel for the for Atlanta fans because like Adam just listed a future nightmare fuel thing is Kirk Cousins playing this weekend against the Dolphins, shredding them, and now all of a sudden having a quarterback controversy with him and Michael Penix Jr.
Oops.
That has got Georgia sports written all over it. All right, moving on to the next one.
0-7 New York Metropolitans taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, who are 3-4.
The Jets are so bad. Cincinnati Bengals have Joe Flacco at quarterback, and they got all these problems. They finally got a win, but they're not very good. And then there's the Jets. Aaron Glenn Penning games. The Jets are so freaking bad. I will take Cincinnati. They cover the 6.5 points.
The Jets will record at least a 50% success rate on designed runs. Once again, I hate nerds.
That is such a nerd thing. New York ranks first in yards before contact per carry, and the Bengals are weak in that area.
I hate nerds.
I hate nerds too. I buy it, I guess. Like, what is success? Like, what's the success on a run? Like more than 3 yards?
I have no idea. The 2-5 Cleveland Brownies taking on the New England Patriots, who are 5-2 in Foxborough.
Sorry, Clay. I'm going with Nate Taylor's New England Patriots. Our Patriots.
Pats wide receiver Stephon Diggs will record 80 plus receiving yards.
Please. As somebody that has him in fantasy, please. Yes, absolutely. Please. I'll buy it.
The 2-5 New York Giants taking on the 5-2 Philadelphia Eagles.
Eagles. Who's playing the Eagles?
The
Giants. Oh, the Eagles for sure. I know the Eagles lost to the Giants already.
I don't know. The Giants, Scadaboo, $15,000 poorer.
He's going to be sad about it. He's going to be crying in his beer.
He's going to be able to run a little bit faster because he doesn't have $15,000 weighing him down.
No.
Giants offensive tackle Andrew Thomas will not record a single pass block loss again. I hate nerds.
Sell it.
The 4-2 Buffalo Bills taking on the Carolina Panthers, who are 4-3.
I will take the Bills.
Panthers
minus 7.5. The Panthers are not good.
Panthers wide receiver Jalen Coker will record at least 4 receptions.
I'll buy that. Don't they have injuries to their receiving core right now?
I believe so.
Is McMillan playing? He's out, right?
I believe so.
I think McMillan's out.
The 4-2 Chicago Bears take on the 1-5 Baltimore Ravens. The Bears look like they've exercised some demons over the last couple of weeks.
I said before the season started, this is the year that the Bears are going to win. And if they can't win, it's Caleb Williams can't get it done. I don't think Caleb Williams is the reason they're winning, but the roster's good. Sounds like DJ Moore has been activated, which is great for DJ Moore fantasy owners. I think this is around the, this is the last ditch effort for the Ravens to be in this thing. And it's at home?
Yes, it is in Baltimore.
Is Lamar playing or is he still out?
I believe they said he's coming to play after the bye. That's when he's expected to return, is after the bye.
I got Derrick Henry running against the Bears. I'll take the Ravens.
Bears linebacker Tremaine Edmonds will lead the league in combined tackles this week.
Yes.
The 5-2 San Francisco 49ers taking on the 2-4 Houston Texans down in Houston.
I'll take the Niners plus 2.5.
Texans cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. will allow at least 60 receiving yards.
Yes, if the Niners are going to win, they're going to use the air a little bit more to get some people off Christian McCaffrey. I'll take it.
Air go foo.
Inside.
The 5-2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the 1-6 New Orleans Saints
Bucks
in New Orleans.
Survivor pick. Bucks. New Orleans might be one of the worst teams I've ever seen, and whoever lost to them might be worse than them. And then there's the Jets.
Saints running back Alvin Kamara will set a season high with 50-plus receiving yards.
I will buy that. They got some banged up players right now. Olave missed practice on Wednesday with an ankle. Kendre Miller's out for a long period of time with a knee. I think he's out for the year with a knee injury. I mean, somebody's got to move the ball for them.
By the way, we talk about great players stuck on bad teams. Can we please get Alvin Kamara out of New Orleans before the deadline, please?
Yeah, as somebody that has him in fantasy in a different league, yes, that would be great. Please. Yes, please.
The 3-3-1 Dallas Cowboys taking on the 5-2 Denver Broncos up at Mile High.
Can you tell me the last year that the Dallas Cowboys beat the Denver Broncos?
No.
Can you tell me the last time they beat the Denver Broncos?
No.
Neither you nor I were alive.
Cool.
How old are you? 32?
32.
What year were you born in?
92. Last day.
That was the last time.
Nice.
The last time the Cowboys
when was it?
beat the Broncos in
When was it?
in 92. I'd have to go look that up again. I don't know what the exact date is. Maybe it was during your lifetime.
If it was, but I was the last day of 92. So if it was during that season.
The date was 1992. So if
it was 92. Okay.
Yeah. So they have not won since Frank Marchese has been born.
Denver Broncos running back Tyler Beatty will record a season high 20 receiving yards.
I'll buy the bold prediction. I still haven't picked if I want the Cowboys or not.
Oh, whoops.
Just know this, that again with lines and betting lines, as we go back to that, the every Cowboys game is add 3 points to it in favor of the other team because the Cowboys always get 3 points in favor of them.
So the Broncos are favored by half a point.
The Broncos are favored by 6.5, technically.
Oh, okay.
The 3-point swing is from the Cowboys fans betting on the Cowboys because they only bet on their team.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe they know something we don't. I'll take the Cowboys plus 3.5.
1-6 Tennessee Titans versus the 6-1 Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. Titans are so bad. Titans. Do you hear what Eddie George said about the owner?
No.
He said she has set this franchise back 10 to 15 years.
Awesome.
It's 100% true. Terrible. They're not going to. Terrible. Nothing's going to change with that organization either. Hey, we got a brand new stadium. Cool. Good for you.
Titans tight end Tyler Warren will have 3 consecutive games with a receiving touchdown, which will set a rookie record.
Yes.
Finally, Sunday Night Football. The 4-1
tight end Tyler Warren.
Oh, my bad.
Hang on a second. Hold on a second. I know what you did wrong. You combined stats to know and bold prediction. Titans tight end Chig Okonkwo will record at least 50 receiving yards. I will sell that.
My bad. Finally, Sunday Night Football, the 4-1 Green Bay Packers taking on the 4-2 Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is an interesting game. Is Aaron Rodgers back in Green Bay or is it in Pittsburgh?
No, it's in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's not really cool.
Rodgers did say that he wanted to retire a
Packer.
Well,
what else is he going to retire as? A Jet?
Well,
Steeler?
no, I mean, you could just retire with the team you're on. You don't have to do the whole one-day contract gimmick.
A guy like Aaron Rodgers should totally do the one-day contract gimmick. I'm just a retired Steeler. I got the Packers. I think the Steelers are lousy.
Steelers tight end Darnell Washington will record a career-high 6 targets.
Sure.
Cool.
I'll buy it.
Break time.
You want to talk about Monday's game?
No, because you yell at me every single week that we shouldn't talk about Monday's game until Monday, and then we get some world-breaking news that happens, and we never
That's
get
also
to the
true.
game
We
on
never
Monday.
get to the Monday night game on Monday.
We got to talk about San Diego State next.
But you're right.
Anyway.
Full breakdown of the Aztecs and why they're going to win the oil can tomorrow at noon. When we come back, Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Someone Sports Station, 97.3 The Fan. She still gets a foul. Foul. I will take a repercussion foul, but she gets a foul. Where is it?
He draws the foul.
Absolutely.
I do love how, because I heard this whole conversation go down during the break. I love how she acted like getting a foul meant that she doesn't get ice cream after dinner.
It was
tonight.
all caps.
Like, it was
all
fantastic.
Caps. She's PO'd for sure.
And by the way, Plush King 64 in the chat. I saw that.
That's a foul for you too. Yeah, that's right.
I hate you.
He draws the foul.
Just found out that Frank is not 55 years old. You look amazing for 55, by the way.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
55 is the new 32.
That should relinquish my foul.
No.
See, look, I'm
it doesn't.
I'm nice. She goes, I did not say bolt up. I said bolts are up. And then I went back to the receipts. She said bolts up.
Bolts.
So it's kind of a combo. Bolts up. It's a combo, though. She did not say bolts are up. She said bolts up.
Yeah. Which would mean what? The Chargers are leading.
It would mean bolt up with a spelling, with the typo. That's what it means. Otherwise, she should have said R. I think we're both wrong in the situation.
Going full semantics with you.
But anyway, she heard the foul thing. She was like, OMG, no foul, no.
Yeah, she's...
Get it bleeping right.
Yeah, she is...
Take your foul back.
Over the foul.
The foul. She's booing you now for awarding the foul.
I didn't award the foul. I awarded his foul. And the foul was really for the Plush King.
She goes, I don't get a foul. Boo Frank. Frank's in the doghouse. Go hang out with Angie.
Why am I took your side.
You're about to give her a foul for arguing foul balls and strikes.
Jeez, you're both about to get ejected. This is going to be my show for the last half hour.
Have fun with Drake. It'll be good.
Okay.
Bolts up. I'll take the foul for that. That's fine. I did it for the bit.
Jeebus.
I might have done it for the bit. It's good. It's good stuff. She is right. We'll just say that.
Well, of course, now you say it because
right.
You're in trouble now.
You're also in trouble.
Why am
She said
I
you're in trouble.
I took your side.
Whose side? Mine or hers?
Hers. I took her side.
Frank did take her side like he usually does. Well, he usually takes her side.
I'm sorry. I usually follow like the guy code here, but I'm going to warn you now, and I'm going to have this on record. Like if you do anything stupid, I'm outing you instantly.
Apparently. Everybody gets a foul. I think it's even.
If you do something dumb, you're getting outed. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. I'll take her side most times just joking around and just to prod and needle you. But if you do anything genuinely dumb, I'm sorry. I'm not taking your side.
You're okay now. You've been cleared.
Thank you very much.
I'll take the heat. It's fun. I'll take the heat. It is Foul Out Friday. Hey, you know what? We're trying to foul people out. We're trying to get the Eric Hosmer video. What would Eric Hosmer's take is on the gambling thing?
I think it's his birthday today, too. Isn't
Why
it?
would it? How would you know that?
Because I saw somebody post it on Twitter. That's why.
Person going, San Diego sports fans are such babies. People complaining about San Diegans making fun of their team, more sad. Decent amount of Vikings fans there last night.
It is Eric Hosmer's 36th birthday today.
Happy birthday to Eric Hosmer. Do you think Eric Hosmer's friends bought him a cameo from somebody else? What would be the cameo that would be great for Eric Hosmer?
Just buy Eric Hosmer a cameo of himself saying happy birthday to himself.
Cole Brooks. I hope his birthday sucks.
I hope the wind blows out your candles while the cake is on its way to the table.
So your birthday wish doesn't come true. Wow. That's brutal. That's an innocent, brutal, like wishing ill will. AJ Preller doing the cameo for his birthday. That'd be kind of funny.
I hope you get the wrong icing on your cake.
I hope Juan Soto does it for him.
Can we talk about San Diego State?
Aztecs football tomorrow. No fouls here. They got the Fresno State Bulldogs. Couple of things to break down with the Bulldogs tomorrow. Trying to win the old oil can. I'm trying to find exactly where I had my notes on this. There it is. All right. Here's what you need to know about the Bulldogs. We talked about it yesterday with Gabe Camarillo, not to be confused with Miami Dolphins player and San Diego guy, and Greg Camarillo. Aztecs head to Fresno to take on the Bulldogs. It's not just about the old oil can this time. Both teams are sitting on the doorstep of bowl eligibility, and both see this as a tone setter for the second half of the season. Fresno State's been one of the Mountain West standard bearers for the past decade, but they're coming off of a humbling loss that exposed some cracks. Fresno State's been one of the Mountain West most consistent winners, 4 conference titles since 2012, second to only Boise State. Now in transition again, head coach Matt Entz, the former North Dakota State powerhouse coach, taking over after a turbulent coaching stretch that saw Jed Tefford step away twice for health reasons, and Tim Skipper jump to UCLA after last season. He's now, by the way, the interim head coach at UCLA. Entz brings a defensive first physical identity from his FCS dynasty days, but it's still a work in progress adapting to the Mountain West level. Here's what you need to know about Fresno State. Quarterback E.J. Warner, senior transfer from Temple and Rice, 139 for 202, 1,486 yards, 10 touchdowns, 9 picks. When he's locked in, he's surgical. When he's rattled, mistakes pile up fast. San Diego State needs to find a way to rattle E.J. Warner early. Quote from Coach Entz on Warner, "We need EJ to have more skin like a duck and let things go. One bad play can't turn into 4. You know what that tells me? San Diego State can really let this thing snowball out of control if they can get to Entz early. They're built to run the ball. They can be explosive, but they're prone to giving games away. And if they fall behind, Fresno State hasn't been able to get back into games. San Diego State needs to approach this game the same way that they played the Nevada game. Jump out early, get a lead, let the defense take control, and a defense that's been top 3 in college football when it comes to points allowed.
I think they're top. I think they're 5th. I think
they 5th now.
Points allowed. Yeah.
I thought they were 3rd the other day.
I think they're averaging 22 a game.
Oh, I was talking about total points allowed.
Oh, my bad.
They've allowed the 3rd least amount of points in all of college football, behind
I
Oklahoma and Ohio State. Now,
I think average points is their 5th.
So that's what you need to know about that. Defensively, they're pretty solid. Fresno State is, but 3-headed monster for the Aztecs. And I'd like to see Denegal again get after it. Anything else you want to talk about with the game tomorrow?
No, it's going to be a good game. And I think the fact that it's going to be on national television, on FS1, major college football known network, right smack dab in the middle of the day at 12:30 Pacific time, 3:30 Eastern, that is going to be huge for exposure for San Diego State. And hopefully if San Diego State does do what they did against Nevada, this could really open the door to them being a national conversation about them possibly making the college football playoff, and who knows, could get them ranked.
San Diego State with a win against Fresno State would be good. Puts them in the driver's seat to potentially be in the Mountain West Championship game. They'd have to, again, take care of business. To me, there's 3 games that are very important on the schedule left for the Aztecs, assuming they take care of business against the other teams, right? Because every game definitely matters. There's 6 games left. They need to be able to take care of business against Wyoming, right? If you look at the schedule.
Boise State is their next big concern.
Right, I'm going to get to that in a second. But like Wyoming and New Mexico, they got to be able to just dominate those games, 100%. Right? And there's one other game that I'm blanking on that they have to work, that they have to just absolutely dominate. But when you look at the Aztecs, 3 most important games, I think, in the rest of the regular season, it is this week against Fresno State. I think it's at Hawaii, because I think that is a trap.
Game,
I think that is a trap. Going to Hawaii is never fun for any team in college football, let alone teams in the Mountain West Conference. And of course, the Boise State game is the utmost of importance.
Yes.
But the ones that they should take care of business are 2 home games, one against Wyoming on November 1st, one against San Jose State, and then the last game of the year. By the time they get to the game at New Mexico, they will well know if they're in the conversation for the Mountain West Championship game or not. That game against New Mexico could be a game that is played to potentially host the Mountain West Championship game. 3 most important games they got to play: Fresno State, Hawaii, Boise State. 3 games that should be able to handle business: Wyoming, San Jose State, New Mexico. Aztecs have put themselves in a really good position to potentially be in the Mountain West Championship game. And then after that, if you win that, then we can have a conversation. But at least getting there for a team that was expected to only have 4.5 wins, that's very impressive. Great so far year two for Sean Lewis. 6 games left to try to make it a very big year for Sean Lewis. Trey Kills has some information about Chucky Lozano as well as San Diego FC as they get ready for the postseason. He will join us next to finish up the work week on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number 1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. Poor Maria just joined the chat. She's like, Foul Out Friday seems like today. Better believe it. I think we've had a fun show today.
It's been a great show today. We've had a great week of shows.
A great week of
entirely.
shows. Maybe the Padres will hire a manager this weekend.
That'd be cool.
Actually, what gigantic bombshell is going to come down on Monday so we don't talk about Monday Night Football?
I was going to say, what brain-breaking sporting event is going to happen that just completely carries us through next week?
It's true.
I mean, we've had Schill 2 weeks ago, the NBA this week. I mean, this has been a great first off season for me.
So he's like hoping Preller doesn't go to the Rockies. Oh, why would he go to the Rockies?
He's still under contract.
He's under
Bo.
contract.
What are we doing here?
Stop it. All right. Biggest Fan Contest returns on Monday, November 3rd. Our grand prize is a night in the Odyssey Suite with 20 tickets for you and your friends to watch a future Padres game with the whole fan staff. Register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggestfan and listen when we announce names each day at 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5:30 for your chance to qualify. This hour of 97 Through the Fan is brought to you by IHOP, introducing the IHOP value menu, where all your breakfast faves are just $6 each every day. Where else can you get a big, filling, sit-down breakfast for only $6? Go to your happy plates with the $6 IHOP value menu, available every day at IHOP, $7 in some locations.
Clay in the South Bay, as a wrestling fan, wrestling is not fake. It is predetermined.
He came from the top rope on that one.
There's a difference between fake and predetermined. You go to a wrestling show, they know who's going to win. You don't know if that chair that you're sitting on is going to be used to smack somebody over the head. That's the difference between real and fake. Wrestling is not fake.
Tables, ladders, and chairs match.
Exactly. All that stuff is real. Gimmicked, but real.
Do you know who else is real?
Drake Hills.
Drake Hills is real. It's also real that he's joining our show twice this week. Well, we had a lot to break down after on Monday with San Diego FC. So we bring in Drake Hills, who is a contributing writer for Black Players for Change, as well as ESPN.com, to get us a preview of the MLS Cup playoffs. San Diego FC knows who they're going to play. We'll talk more about that. Drake, how's your Friday going? What's going on, man?
Oh man, it almost occurred to me that it's still football season, because just as you guys were talking about Monday Night Football, and I'm thinking, like, I just had a week full of NBA coming back, and I was like, didn't you guys just lift the Larry O'Brien trophy and the Thunder and all this hoopla about the NBA Finals? I really thought that was maybe a month ago. Well, now it's all of a sudden it's basketball season again. So that's where my head's at. I'm like, there's football going on, there's basketball on Amazon Prime. Like, there's just a lot going on for me. Not to mention the World Series.
That's true. There's also a lot going on in the NBA that doesn't involve the on-court stuff as well. So that's took up most of our show today. But, the MLS is about to start their playoffs. We know who the opponent is. Drake, how does this match up? Actually, before we get there, what do you got for us on the Chucky Lozano situation?
Yeah, I can tell you that apart from the report from The Athletic yesterday on Thursday saying that this dust up this disciplinary issue involving Chucky Lozano and his teammates and the staff during the locker room dispute against the Houston Dynamo, obviously was sidelined for the MLS Decision Day game against the Timbers. Obviously, he apologized, and he apologized to his team. He apologized publicly, issued a statement about a little over an hour ago. And just to talk about the statement just real quickly, in my opinion, quite generic, but very much addresses the fact that, hey, you got caught up in the moment, emotions eroded any logic in terms of Mikey Virus's decision to take him off for Amal Pellegrino, which in hindsight should remind everyone, San Diego FC fans, Amal Pellegrino showed that he's still good at soccer and, helped San Diego pull out a ridiculous result. So Mikey Virus was correct in making that decision. But as Chucky Lozano said, and I quote, "I'm a passionate and competitive person who always wants to give everything for the team. Sometimes that same intensity can lead to reactions that don't reflect who I am or the respect I have for everyone around me. I didn't react in the right way, and I've already taken responsibility, addressed it, and moved forward," end quote. That tells me that, look, it's not going to be this issue. I'm seeing reports saying that, are we going to see Chucky Lozano in the game against Portland first round? Yes, you are. You're going to see Chucky Lozano during round one, first San Diego FC against the Portland Timbers. This is not something that supersedes the fact that this is San Diego FC's very first postseason in its history. So winning is the common denominator, and we're going to see Chucky. I don't know how many minutes starting, coming off the bench, game one or game two, or if necessary, a game three, but we will see Chucky Lozano in round one against Portland.
How does this matchup play out? Obviously, with Chucky Lozano in the lineup, potentially, as you mentioned, against the Timbers. I mean, San Diego FC just beat them not too long ago 4-0 without Chucky Lozano. Now, as you get Chucky, and it sounds like they have made all of the necessary apologies, everything like that, how much more of a boost do the San Diego FC get with Chucky Lozano in this particular matchup?
Well, you do, whether it's going to be Amal Pellegrino or Corey Baird or someone else, you do get your normal, 4-4-2 or however you want to say 4-4-2 diamond. You're going to have that pairing back with Anders Dreyer up front. And whether you take Pellegrino and put him more into a wide position, he is a winger by trade. And Corey Baird can play winger as well. He's played winger for pretty much his entire MLS career and even collegiate career. So there's some flexibility in that. But the reality is that statistically, you're getting back your second highest goal scorer. Obviously, Ilan Olaski is gone. So with 9 goals, 10 assists, you're getting your second best offensive player statistically into the team. In the playoffs, you're going to need that. So I think tactically, there's some flexibility, especially if Mikey Burris decides to start Chucky Lozano. But even if he doesn't, there is flexibility and good form for the guys that have been playing recently.
We talked about this particular round being in round one. It's a best of 3, and it's not like European soccer where it's about goals and everything like that. It's literally just a best of 3 series like you would see in baseball or, the NBA or any other, the NHL, the ones that play series out here in the United States. Obviously, San Diego will host and then go to Portland and then come back. Who else do you like in the first round of the MLS Cup playoffs as you look at the Western Conference matchups coming up this weekend and throughout next week?
Yeah, ultimately, I have my eye on what exactly LAFC is going to do in this. Yes, you could say the round robin, best of 3 series, whatever you want to call it. I'm curious to see how they're going to respond because they had an incredible response to dropping that game against San Diego FC not too long ago. They ended up winning 6 straight after that. And then all of a sudden they go on this kind of dull stint where, they dropped a few points. They got only 1 point out of a possible 6 to end of the regular season. Now you can call that attrition. You can call that, a truncated into the season because of the Club World Cup and all the other tournaments that they were playing in earlier in the season. So I think LAFC is the dark horse for me because they have the playoff experience. They're kind of in this last dance type of era with obviously their manager, Steven Cherundolo. He will be departing. So I think it's interesting as how is this team going to respond with Denny Bouanga? Heung-min Son is now on the team. Playoff soccer is here. So how does this team respond to a win or go home mentality? Also, I do want to take a look at Seattle. Again, I'm just really focused on the playoff experienced MLS Cup winning sides and how they're going to do because quite frankly, Minnesota is no slouch, but I'm also thinking about Vancouver coming into what would likely be a conference semifinal match up against LA. So those are the 2 teams I'm really looking at. LA and Seattle.
Real quick, let's look at the Eastern Conference. How do you see this one playing out in the first round?
I think FC Cincinnati is going to run the table. They're my team that is going to represent the East in MLS Cup. With Evander and Miles Robinson and a lot of those guys that FC Cincinnati has put together. I really like the way that they've come into this new era. Pat Noonan is a incredible reason for that. And so I think although Philadelphia Union won the Supporters Shield, you just take a look at the Supporters Shield winning teams, haven't really seen a whole lot of success from Supporters Shield winning teams in the MLS Cup playoffs. So I like FC Cincinnati. I also like, if we're just looking at who we could potentially see going up against Cincinnati, I'm probably looking at, it's kind of hard to say. Outside of Cincinnati, I think it's going to be pretty much touch and go. I don't know what Charlotte is going to do with Wilfred Zaha and that crew, but I would take a look at them. But again, I think it's all about FC Cincinnati in these MLS Cup playoffs.
It's going to be a fun playoffs. Get started coming up, I think, as early as tomorrow, actually, today. The first game is today. Miami and Nashville will play today, and you'll have games throughout the entire weekend. Drake, we'll talk to you again next Friday. What do you think? Ducks will be able to handle Wisconsin this weekend?
Yeah, Luke Fickell's on the hot seat,
just like everybody else in college football.
I don't mind Wisconsin. It's not really a game that, or a team rather that I'm feeling any extra fire. We have to take care of business. It's just business, nothing personal. But I do like that matchup. It's at home. I think we should take care of business. 2 home losses is almost incomprehensible for my Ducks at Autzen. So, but cheers to TCU.
Thank you.
Hopefully they do well for the rest of the year.
I got West Virginia on Saturday. That's a scary place to play, no matter what West Virginia's record is. So good luck, Drake, to you and Derek from La Mesa's Oregon Ducks. We'll talk to you again next Friday. That's Drake Hills. He's Frank Marchese. This has been the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local, each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I'm sure we'll get more information over the weekend about the Padres, about everything going on in the NBA. We'll be ready to rock and roll on Monday. Gwen and Chris coming up next. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Have a good weekend.